Hello, welcome to the YouTube crowd. We're doing the live in the car. It's been a while, so I wanted to do this. Hey, Ingrid Goosen, good to see you. How's it going? Hi. How's life? How's living? Dance time. Feeling super jazzed for the live today. Yep. Will H and you meet? I do get yes. How? How? I don't know if you'll have to travel, but will H and you date? I do feel like there's potential, and my body pendulum swinging to no on dates. I think I do feel like there's obstacles that will make it difficult. Unfortunately, I don't know what those are, but that's what I get. Sarah Jean was my lover. Hi, how are you doing? Good morning, it's Susie. Good to see you again. Haley, hi. Sarah Jean was my lover. We'll meet having dates. I get a yes. I don't feel like it'll be everything you were expecting, though. That's what I get. Thanks for the rose. I feel like it'll be fun, but there's like some weird stuff. What's the weird stuff? I don't know if he's quite what you expected, honestly, once you get to know him more. Or, no, once you get closer. Does that make sense? That's what I'm getting, at least. Oh, you guys are just coming out swinging with the questions today. It's nothing wrong with that. That's what this live is about, isn't it? It's Izzy17. Is there anything my guys need want me to know? It's Izzy. You're on the right track still, which is good. But just be patient right now. I think you're actually upgrading, but it's like I feel like from the ground up, you're going to be a new person. I think we've talked about this before. I know I've chatted with you a couple times over the phone and the personal readings. I don't know if I said this before, but you're not going to be the same person in a year, but that's a good thing because I think you're going to want different things going forward than you thought, but you're definitely going to be more inclined to follow your heart instead of your logic or what other people are saying, which is good. Just make sure you're staying grounded and definitely drink plenty of water for a while. I don't know why that's important, but I'd say at least 3 bottles of water a day. If you haven't been hydrating, I would hydrate, and I wouldn't drink soda if you're drinking soda. They just showed me Mountain Dew. I don't know. So if that resonates, that's what I got for you. Just stay healthy, stay on your game. I feel like you got this, honestly. I think life will take an unexpected turn. What's that about? I think it'll be good, though. I think you're just gonna you're gonna realize more of what you actually want in life in the near future, and that's gonna rearrange certain plans. That's what I'm getting. So I hope you're well. Hope you're well. Asked by Haley 2334. Do I know the man I will be with? No, I don't. I get no. That's coming though. You definitely won't be alone forever. Nick Nitro 03. Can you say hi to Mackenzie? Hi, Mackenzie. Oh wait, alright. Is that someone who passed on, Nick? Before I just say hi, Mackenzie. As if she's... Yeah. Let me know if that's someone who's passed on. I just want to double check that. I do get that. Infinity... hi Scarlet Spit, how are you doing? Deja, morning. Morning, Deja, how are you doing? Sorry, no, don't be sorry, Haley. Scarlet Spit, you look interesting. Hello, strong vibe. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've been working on it for years. Definitely been building myself in that regard. Well, in a lot of regards. All the regards that are for the highest good to build myself. Mostly, my guys say. Mostly. But I've definitely been working on it. Infinitely existential. Does Spirit have a message for me? Yeah, I'd say stay the course. You're actually gonna upshift based on what I'm seeing and getting. So I feel like you will have abundance. Infinitely existential. If that's something that's been on your mind, you will have abundance. I don't feel like it'll be quite what you expected, but it will be better. Is what I'm getting. Just I'm actually getting this for the years ahead, but take that how it resonates. What else for you? I don't feel like you're going to be alone, infinitely existential. If you feel like you're alone, and that's in a good way. In the ways you want to be not alone, if that makes sense. Definitely having a deja vu moment right now. like I've had it with this exact same like topic like 3 times on these lives. Oh my gosh. Anything else? Anything else for infinite lives? I'm gonna pull a card. Which deck? Angel. Angels. So jazzed today. What's top card? What's the... There's like 20 messages. I look at this card and there's like 20 messages. So first one, you're guarded. What kind of guarded? Protected by the angels, guarded. That's a good thing. I feel like you're like this angel is like glowing on this card, and they're saying you're glowing. I feel like there's a glow up coming for you, infinitely existential. That's something that I do get is coming in for you. Like definitely pay attention to feathers as a sign. Down here, there's a feather on the card. I don't know if you can see it with the sun. The sun flare. Woo! And I would also take time to relax. That's another thing that's coming in, just because you're on the beach. My gosh, I didn't even realize. I think is this the Pleiades star system up here in this card? You guys can't see it once again. There's like these little stars. There's like 7 stars. And 7 stars to me is definitely about the Pleiades. So pay attention to how that's showing up for you. And definitely release any fears and worries at this time. Life is pretty taken care of, or will be. Like a lot of the worries you have right now won't be around in a year, if that makes sense. And another message, my gosh, sorry, just gonna keep going. But birth the new, they pointed my eyes to this newborn, and so anything new you want to see in your life, I would start creating it. If it's something you can start creating, or just take like one step, or even just start like planning for new things. But how? Like even if it's a vision board or something like that. Like I just feel like you're gonna have a lot of new coming in. So I hope that helps. Infinitely existential. I feel like I went like way around everywhere, but that's what I'm getting. There's gonna be divine love coming in too, based on what I'm getting, and just I don't know. I would hold your ground as well if that. If there's anyone who wants to bring you down, that's what I got. Hope that helps. Cloud romantic. Morning. Should I finish my degree? I do feel like it's worth it. You might not use it as much as you'd hoped, but it's worth it. Oh, thanks for the hand hearts, DD Gruber. But I do feel like it's worth finishing Cloud Romantic. I hope that helps. Oh, thanks for that. Thank you, Scarlet Spit. I have beautiful eyes. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Just so you know, guys, questions will last. So okay, I gotta specify a few things now that there's 50 of you here, and I'm sure that'll pick up later. Oh, thanks, Sarah Jean, who was my lover, for the rose, and thanks for the fire, Infinitely Existential. I appreciate you. Infinitely Existential. I would make a wish. This kind of showed up. This is like a make a wish card for me when this pops out. Definitely pay attention to the moon as well. I think you're kind of upshifting with the moon. Anyways, just gonna keep going, which is good. Yeah, let's keep it rolling, guys. Guys, what was I gonna say? Okay. Yeah, so what was I gonna say? So I'm just gonna go to the questions I was guided to. Questions in the Q&A box, there's a chance I'll be able to get back to them, but I can't guarantee I'm gonna get to old questions. So do your best not to spam the Q&A, but if it's been like a while, you can repeat certain questions. Again, I'm just gonna go to questions I'm guided to answer, honestly. So like I'll do my best. Like if there's one that I'm just getting not to answer, I'll try to like acknowledge that. But if I just don't get to your question, like I do get a lot of these during these lives, like hundreds. And if you watch like the amount that come in compared to like how long it takes me to answer one, you'll realize like, yeah, there's just no way you can get to everything. So, but I'll do my best. And people do tell me they get a lot out of the lives, even if they don't get their question answered. Also, general message for everyone, all of you have abundance coming in. This card popped out and they just said all of you have abundance coming in one way, shape, form, or another. The sun will shine in your lives, and oh, I love this. We got all these good cards popping out. We got Hope, Archangel Hope. For this is like a cosmic gift is coming in, or a gift from the universe. So whatever that, another side message for everyone here, we're just doing a quick general, I guess, is shine your light. They have my eyes on this lantern, so it should, and the sun flare. JJ Abrams got nothing on me over here with my sun flares and the cards. But shine your light here. Um, there is a bit of a worldwide transformation going on. You get next 6 months as kind of like a time frame for that. But just I do pay attention to love coming into your lives, because there is going to be more. That doesn't necessarily mean just romantic. But they're showing me this card's never caught my eyes before, and I lost the card. Nope, here it is. But they have these rose petals coming in from on high, from the divine down to this archangel's crown chakra. If you can see that. And what I just keep getting is divine love coming in, but you have the whole earth, and then we were just talking about worldwide upgrade as well, weren't we? So there's just a lot more divine love pouring in for people, and that might take form in different ways for each of you, but it is, oh my gosh, they're showing me this water, and there's this, oh my god, sorry guys, where my pointer finger, where my finger is pointing is to this water, this flow, and it's flowing in. So you guys are all upgrading. There's more love coming in. Sure, there might be some tumultuousness, but I wouldn't worry for this crowd. I think a lot of you are taken care of. I would definitely set your intentions for the next 6 months. What do you want the rest of your year to look like, and what kind of energies you want to show up for you, what kind of people, and see what starts to show up. And even if it doesn't manifest right away, you can reaffirm some of those things if you still want them at the beginning of the year for 2022. Because I'm getting creativity is on a rise in the next few years. So sorry to jump into a general reading, everybody. We'll get back to the to the Q&A in a second here. But just, and there's a lot of downloads coming in. I know all these cards kind of look like the angels are getting downloads from source, but well, actually no, they don't. But a lot of them do, and these two do. You can see that light streaming in from up above. So that's coming in for a lot of people. This crowd, especially, I'm getting just a lot of downloads and divine guidance kind of on the rise. So that's kind of what I'm getting. I feel like I need to tie that up. Honestly, don't worry is another message. I do feel like you're all upgrading. I do feel like there's a lot coming in for you that's going to be surprising, but will make sense in the grand scheme of things. And just really don't worry. I think there's a lot of compassion coming in for this crowd as well. So, and there's so much more. I don't know if I can touch on this. I could probably just keep going, because I feel like I'm just I'm definitely in channel mode, and they're just but let's anything general that comes through, I'll keep bringing it through, and I'll come back to these questions. Thanks Deja for sending me love, by the way. I feel like a lot of you have your foundations built. That's what this card is saying. So it's time to build more of what you want, and definitely ask for ease is another thing I'm getting with this card. Ask for ease right now. Just manifest it. Either you guys are coming into balance or you're balanced. So that's kind of the general thing. They want me to go back to Q&A. So that's kind of the general messages I'm getting right now. So I hope that helps you guys and makes sense for those of you who might ask a question that I don't get to. But that's some of the general messages as well. The whole life, yeah. So okay, back to the Q&A. Sarah Jean was my lover. How long will I be in this winter? The message I get specifically is in a year's time you'll be out of it. So that doesn't mean you'll be in it for a whole year. It's just you're gonna gradually see a shift out of it. Because right now, I feel like you're kind of coming at the end. It's just the signs aren't there yet, if that makes sense. Or you might see signs, but the evidence is still coming in, or it's it's almost it's on a fishing line and it drops in, and then the second you reach for it, someone pulls it up. It's kind of one of that message I'm getting. But definitely not forever for the winter period. What else am I getting for you? I do feel like you're going to start shifting out of it. You're just not seeing the signs yet. But I do feel the spring, as far as the spring season for you, is next year. And if you feel again, about the winter period, it won't be, once you get out of it, you won't be in one for a while, is what I'm getting, years. So that's just, it's just one of those things where, oh my gosh, I don't like this message, but you're learning to trust. I think you're realizing everything can be okay, even if things aren't going your way right now. And you're definitely not going to be alone forever if that's a worry or concern. So something you're definitely shielded from anything catastrophic. By the way, that's just another message coming for you. That's from Sarah Jean, I believe. A lot of you as well. But they're showing me this purple here, like this violet kind of color, and they're saying like that's crown chakra. They're saying you're upgrading and getting ready to handle more information. Heavier workload is what they're saying ethically, but that's a good thing, and I think that's part of what you want. So if that lines up with things you've been asking for, I've been hoping about or dreaming about, that's what I'm getting. Weird message, but like don't get caught up in any eddies or swirls. Like if you're in a river or flowing down a river, like they have eddies or like little, they're not like whirlpools, but just like eddies. But like I wouldn't get caught up in those or worry about those in life. This is analogous, of course, but just kind of let the flow take you, and you won't really get trapped in any. I don't know. Interesting side message, but hope will come in. Archangel Hope. So don't worry too much. And you are getting ready to fly. Okay, so that's kind of what I got for you. I hope that makes sense. We're going back to the Q&A. So yeah, as you guys see, chat. Ooh, 88%. My battery, good numbers. By the way, like I don't know, like it was like last week or 2 weeks ago, this black cat showed up out of nowhere in my neighborhood, and as you can see, I'm just hanging out in my car for this live because it's been a while since I did a car live. I like my car, my car space here, car office space sort of. But there's a little black cat, maybe not little, but a black cat that walks around and wanders around. So if that's a sign for any of you, there you go. It's a good luck. Same I am. I'll get. Are there people wishing or doing some kind of energetic harm on me that I should be aware of? I get no. I think like sometimes people can get worried about that, just because like things aren't going right or you're just feeling off, but there's a lot more going on collectively than just energetic harm, and I think sometimes people misinterpret like feeling off or funky for being attacked when I feel like very few people are actually out there attacking like that. You're just picking up on some of the stuff going out in the world, and just because things are going like wrong per se doesn't mean the world has it out against you. Sometimes there's just lessons or like kinks getting worked out in like energetic systems that like feel weird but are actually a blessing in disguise or a good thing. I'd say you're okay, Sam. I am. I think you're picking up on a lot of what's going on out in the world, and you're not really getting attacked. Like, sure, there might be some jealous people, but that opens up a whole other discussion. I always get, just intuitively and from my guides, like, I might regret saying this, but there's no evil eye. And like a lot of people's jealousy, and let me explain, a lot of people's jealousy is their own thing, and it has to do with their work. And like, and they don't want me to go too far into it, but essentially like, if people are jealous, it's on them if they're jealous. It's not really your fault for either shining brightly or working on yourself to get to a good spot or being successful. It's like good on you for doing that. I think it's not like because you're not. I know you're not doing this. It's not like you're bragging or shoving things in people's faces. You're not that type of person, is what I get. So not to worry though. I do feel like you're okay. Okay, let's see. Keep wanting to sing Ave Maria, so. Whoop. Okay. JM95030 asks, does Spirit have a message for me? Yeah. You are protected first and foremost, divinely, and it doesn't mean you need protection, so to speak. It just means like life events, things going on in the world, like you might not feel it as heavily as other people, or you're not going to, is what I'm hearing. Definitely do anything to set yourself free. I see these birds. What is this actually? It doesn't matter what the card said, my guide said, just like pay attention to what the messages they're giving. Okay, but like they just saw this, and the message I was getting was like fly free or do what you can to set yourself free from any like, oh my gosh, extraneous circumstances that that feel restricting, anything that just feels like it's not feeding your soul. I would see what you can do to mitigate that in your life. Just because I don't feel like you're someone who's supposed to just be in normal all the time. And they're showing me these like mountains with this ice. They're saying this cold season won't last. So it was kind of like it's similar but not the same thing, as I was talking to Sarah Jean, as my lover, about like a winter season in her life, or like it's more analogous of like like a metaphorical season of winter, because obviously it's like summertime here, and like I guess like it's winter down on the southern hemisphere and stuff. But all that to say, I don't feel like you're in a winter season. I think you're more in a fall season, and I think like you won't be in the cold for long as far as like work or circumstances. I think that's more of like a Five of Pentacles energy, like tarot, which is like being left out in the cold or feeling left out in the cold, is kind of like the message. I hope that makes sense. I do feel like you're blossoming internally. They showed me this cherry tree in the back, and they said you're blossoming internally. So I think a lot of inner realizations, a lot of like etheric upgrades you haven't realized yet. And what else is there? I would also be fearless at this time. They're pointing my eyes to these tiger lilies outside, and tiger for me can represent being fearless. Or there's a quote that a practitioner I've gone and seen a few times as I'm guided. She'll say, fear is paper tigers, which is like, yeah, like if like a tiger might appear scary if you just walked outside and there was a tiger. You're like, ah. But if there was like a paper or cardboard cutout of a tiger, sure, you might jump scare, but like there's nothing to be afraid of except maybe a paper cut. And like you probably won't get a paper cut because you'll just be like, oh, that's funny, and you like poke the cardboard over and it falls over. You're like, ha, cute. So like I would be fearless right now. Like if you're gonna make any changes, I don't feel like there's anything to fear. Definitely be bold and courageous. And what else? There's like a little money in this card. Take any little hops you want to take, is what I'd say. It's worth making a few changes and adjustments. I wouldn't do anything big right away, but small changes here and there that you want to see are going to make a lot of headway long term. And it just kind of like starts shifting energies on like an etheric scale, where like you're moving things around in a way you want to see them, and like as above so below, that can have an impact if you especially if you're setting that intention where like, I want to move this furniture and I don't like how it looks right now, and then you're like, well, maybe I can set the intention this also plays out on a grander scale in my life where things aren't where I want them to be, but I move this around and it's closer, and then see if things shift. I think intentionality is a very big thing, and I've seen a lot of, that's not the only way to set intentions, by the way, but I hope that helps. JM95030, I hope that helps you out a lot, and many blessings to you. All right. Yep. Hey, VDM 73. Good to see you again. I hope you're doing well. Thanks so much. It really helped. JM95030. You're so welcome. I'm really grateful to hear it. I'm definitely wishing the best for you going forward. Okay. I need a second to sip some water and some coffee and stuff. So I'll be right here, but I'll be right back. All right. Okay. Mini VDM, any guidance for the coming week? I would actually go within this, like most of this upcoming week, like maybe the next 5 days or so, as you can. I think you have a lot of the answers. You just don't realize you have a lot of the answers, is kind of the message I'm getting for you. You do have, like, they're showing me like a ring of guardian angels around you. So if you're worried about anything, for the most part, I wouldn't be worried. Like, yeah, take care of your responsibilities, take care of what you have to, show up in the world, as you need to. But you do have like a bit of a higher connection that I don't know if it's yet to come into play, but it's like still coming online fully, or like the universe is working on it. And you're going to have your guidance systems back up and running if you felt like you haven't had them as much recently. You do have love coming in for you as well. They're pointing my eyes to this heart on this angel. I don't even know what this card. Oh, actually, yeah. Archangel Camiel, open your heart to give and receive love. Your essence is love. Okay, so you do have love coming in for you, and that's on multiple layers of reality. That's the physical, that's the etheric, that's the angels around you. And I don't know, this doesn't have to be love, but you might have an offer coming in with this flower. He's like presenting an offer. It could be a gift from the universe, but I'm just hearing something about an offer coming in. Okay, and there's a lot of symbolism on this card. So be mindful of yourself right now, because they're showing me this butterfly. There's definitely a bit of a transformation occurring, and I know that's worldwide, but for you as well, I feel like that's very internal. A lot of realizations. Then they have this lotus flower on the bottom of this card. So those kind of go hand in hand, where it's just kind of like, just a bit of an unfoldment and a bit of like realizing of your true worth. And like, as I say that, this card with the peacock feathers coming out, which is very synchronistic to me. But a weird message. I would allow your heart to flutter. I don't know. What's that about? If there's something that excites you, let it excite you, is the message I'm getting. I hope that helps. And it's okay to start yourself stuff, by the way, with the peacock feather. I wouldn't hold back on that. Because it's not like you're bragging, you're just kind of showing what you can do, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I hope you're doing well, Mini VDM. It's definitely good to see you here on this live, and I'm asking the universe to shower you with blessings from Source. Rev 21, will I be successful in a creative pursuit? So body pendulum's going like no, yes. So overall that's a yes, but I think it's going to evolve into something a bit different. I think that will be more successful is kind of what I'm getting. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm getting for you. One thing they're saying is like, one, patience is a virtue is one of the messages for you, but also you're golden. You are a great person, Rev 21 is what they want to say. Even if you don't feel like it. I think you've definitely done more good in this world than bad. And you haven't done a lot of bad at all. So what does that message mean? So they're showing me this dolphin and this wave on this card, and they're like, it's okay to swim and swim and swim and swim and swim. So what does that mean? I feel like, so like, you know how the ocean is very vast? I feel like there's a lot of expansiveness in front of you, and like, if you're not sure what to do or where to go, just swim in any direction. As long as it's like not back to where you came, if that makes sense. I don't feel like you're really going to be anchored in one place, if that makes sense. And this is very analogous. This could play out in a couple different ways. This is just the messages I'm getting. And also play more. They're showing me the dolphin. I feel like dolphins are a lot about play and fun, or can be. So I would definitely play more as you can and incorporate fun. And you do have good things coming. So hope that helps, Rev 21. I hope that sees you well. Stella 59. Will my grandson be happy with his new relationship? I get yes for a while. I feel like it'll take a turn and it will be okay. I do feel like it just needs to play out more, but what's the message? I do get overall yes, it just needs time. That's kind of the message. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm getting. What else? But wait, there's more. It actually might be a little bit healing for him in the meantime. I think, weird message, he might be going through a bit of a purification. I think that's just kind of in all aspects of life, where I feel like he is realizing his worth, and I think he's realizing he's meant for better than some other things he's had in the past. So not to worry, not about him or for him really, because there's Archangel Lavender, which lavender is like a definitely, like, as far as like plant medicine goes, I'm pretty sure it's about alleviating anxiety and stress and worry, or it has some of those properties. It has a lot of properties, but that's actually also a very cleansing herb or plant, because I know back in the day when I was dating one girl, and she was very into herbalism, and she just had lavender essential oil in her car, and long story short, we had to take the trash out, and we had to take all our trash to a dump physically, or like a trash pickup location, because it was out in the middle of nowhere. in North Carolina, and we didn't always have hand sanitizer in the car, so we just used lavender essential oil on our hands, and that was allegedly that killed a lot of like nasty like bugs or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That's another message. Is like lavender is. It's kind of a double. I don't want to say entendre. I don't know if that gives the right connotation of what I'm saying, but it's like the purification card, and like lavender can be purifying, and just like just not to worry. I think that relationship will be taken care of divinely, is what I'm getting, and all will be at least okay for the most part. I hope that helps. But overall, I think that was a very lengthy answer for that question, but that's what I'm getting. Scarlet Spitz 21. All right, Scarlet Spit. Anything Spirit needs to tell you? They're showing me this card, Archangel Sandolphin. Tune into your divine potential. Bring the world into harmony. And it sometimes is a message, and sometimes just to like make me laugh, they'll play the Titanic theme song because they have Archangel Sandolphin play this flute. And so if I start laughing when I see this card, that's like part of what they're doing. And nothing in your life is going to tank or anything like that. That's not the message. The actual message I heard when I pulled this card was be magic and own your worth, honestly, are the two messages I'm getting. You definitely have a lot of magic within you. And it's ready to come out and play a bit more. So crystal grids could be one way that they come out more, or one thing you feel called to do. But setting more intentions for yourself and like how you show up in the world could be something that's helpful for you, by the way. Scarlet Spit, where it's just like, even for like the day, you're just like, all right, 3 affirmations that I want to move towards. Like, I am love, I am pure, I am amazing. I don't know. It could be, and you could go through a whole list. Like, I'm not trying to limit you. I'm just saying, like, as a starting point, just like, not that you aren't setting intentions, but like more intentions, and just seeing like how that starts to create more of your reality and helps the universe unfold things for you in a beautiful way. And you won't ask for the wrong things. That's another thing that they're saying right now as I'm saying this. You won't ask for the wrong things, I think, because they're putting my eyes toward this words illusion on this card. You might be able to read it backwards, but what's about the illusion? The message I'm getting is it's illusion. It's an illusion that you can ask for the wrong things, I think. Because I think they want me to say this. There was a comment in one of my videos recently, and it's not a call down to the person asking it, because I think it's beautiful that people are asking these questions and trying to see like what's right and what they can do. But there was someone who was like, I'm very scared to ask for certain things in case it conflicts with my soul contract. And I definitely have a different take on soul contracts and certain things, because like I don't feel like I was very steeped in other people's points of view when I was learning spirituality. The universe definitely like skirted me around to a lot of different like perspectives, but like I've always kind of followed my own divine guidance and what felt true to me with my guidance to my intuition. And yes, I have the luxury of being able to do that because I can channel, and especially a lot more in the recent years, thankfully. But if I'm going to speak my truth, like our soul contracts, and this is no offense or call down to anyone else who like works with this thing, because I do feel like it can be a helpful framework for helping people to improve their lives if it's utilized correctly. But I don't get soul contracts are like an actual real thing. I don't feel like there's anyone up above in like heaven or in the higher realms signing contracts with each other, if that makes sense. That just doesn't, like, there's no pieces of paper. Like it's a human way to understand certain divine occurrences, and it can be accurate if you get the right practitioner who's utilizing it correctly in accordance with their intuition and their divine guidance. However, I think people get stuck on certain things being a bit more literal than they actually are. And seeing as you each, and I am, and everyone, even if they don't realize it, is infinite and unlimited, you do have the capability to a certain extent, in a way that's for the highest good and in accordance with source, create your reality and shift things about a soul contract, I would say, to certain people's understanding, and make your own reality better. I don't feel like anyone's limited, and I feel like if there's a concept that, and can be limiting. You don't have to buy it outright, but you can sit with it and see like, okay, how does this actually like work with what's true for me and like my reality, and how can like if I feel like this is limiting, like what will it take to make that better? How does it get any better than that? If that makes sense. So all this to say, um, all this to say, what am I even getting to with all this? Because I know I went on a bit of a tangent, but hopefully someone needed to hear that. You're protected and you won't mess it up is kind of the message. Archangel Michael popping out here. And definitely Scarlet Spit, for you stay the course in general. You are on the right track. You haven't really messed up if you need to hear that. I think like the universe is steering you in the right directions. I think you just have to pay attention to the signs and like what's getting roadblocked and what's opening up for you, and just kind of go with the flow. And yes, there's multiple flows, but they all kind of come back to the main trajectory, if that makes sense. If you make a choice with this flow instead of that flow, it all kind of loops back and like goes the same or similar direction, where energetically you're getting the experiences you need to have, even if like physically they don't always look exactly the same, if that makes sense. Like anything physically that has to happen will happen. I wouldn't worry about that, but go with the flow. And they're showing me this card and they're saying something about heart healing. I do feel like if you have heart healing that's going on, it's happening rapidly. And you will be ready for love if you don't feel like you are, or if you're in a relationship, you'll be more ready to handle that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but keep in mind you're infinite. They're showing me this infinity sign, and you can create a lot more of your reality than people have told you, is what I'm getting. So I hope that makes sense, Scarlett. I want to elaborate a bit more on what I was like kind of jumping into, what they were kind of having to jump into with the soul contracts thing, because I don't feel like I said everything I wanted to say. I think the main message is you're not limited, and ask for what you want, because there's more often than not, I feel like we're guided to ask for the things we ask for, or there's a reason we're asking for it, and it's very hard to like mess it up from a universe standpoint, because the universe is all of it, and the universe likely already knew you were going to ask for what you were going to ask for before you asked for it, at least a little bit ahead of time, especially on, I don't even want to get into timelines, but like on your timeline. And I'll say this because it's interesting. They want me to say it because it's interesting. But there was a study done, and it was about the subconscious, and it was about like making choices. And I do feel like as you become energetically aware, you can become aware of your subconscious, if that makes sense, energetically, and what's going on with it. And definitely with your intuition and like from your guides, you can definitely delve into those aspects of you that might otherwise be more hidden logically or pragmatically or cognitively. Not really, though. I don't feel like it's super hidden. I feel like there's always like an awareness of what's going on within. And I know I'm throwing a lot at you guys, but this is just what I've found, and you don't have to buy all of it. But I feel like you can know a lot more than people have let on. And all that to say, my gosh, I'm just like, where was I going? With all this stuff. I got lost. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think I got lost, but I got onto a weird track. So we were talking about, so the study that was happening was like people actually like, when they like hooked brain sensors up to people's brains and stuff, and like they had people make a choice, let's see, they had people make a choice. It was like the choice was made 7 seconds or like some like really big amount of time before they cognitively made the choice. Like they already made the choice before they made the choice. And I feel like people don't realize that happens. And like sometimes people already know what they're going to choose before they choose it. And I feel like that knowing of like the choice they made before they cognitively realize they made it is there. I don't want to limit anyone and say like, oh no, you are trapped in your brain forever. It's like, it's because like your awareness expands far beyond just like your body and just your brain and all this cognitive function stuff, and people get so wrapped up in these physical details that don't get the full picture. And I think that's where science gets stuck, and I do feel like it's getting unstuck, where they're going to start incorporating more of a what was at least once considered a spiritual standpoint, because they have to if they want to make more progress. And because I think it becomes very, I just keep going on these like rants. It becomes very pragmatic to follow your intuition once you realize, at least for me, once it gets honed in and you realize it's always accurate for you and like your life, it becomes very logical to do this. I think science will discover that, or there will be more intuitively inclined people getting into science to kind of bring that in. So anyways, oh my gosh, back to the Q&A. Hope someone needed to hear that, all that out there. And how does it get any better than all that? Eternal Love 91. So I might hold off on pregnancy questions going forward. So I do see this. Honestly, like the answer I'm getting is, well, you get pregnant within the next 12 months. I'm kind of getting probably not, but don't let that keep you from trying if you have all those circumstances lined up. But I hope that helps and makes sense. Back to the Q&A. So I hope you guys are well and enjoying your Sunday. I'm just going to ask the universe. If you want this, you can just say, yeah, that sounds good. If you like this, but I'm going to ask the universe to bless each one of you in the highest and best ways for each of you, if that's something you'd like. Greasy Sai, what do you see in love for me? Hi, how are you doing? It's funny, I just opened up the Archangel Camuel card. Open your heart to give and receive love. Your essence is love. I do feel like love is around the bend for you, and like soon. I do feel like you'll have to open to other options and consider some new people. I think it's worth opening up to new love is what I'm getting. I would also release your fears in love. I do feel like you're going to be pretty divinely guided to the right people or right options for you, so not to worry. And yeah, guardian angels popping out, so you won't make the wrong choice in love. I wouldn't worry too much about that. I hope that helps, Christy Sai. I know you've been asking about love a bit lately, so I'm definitely hoping the right love for you shows up, and a very fulfilling one at that. Whew. All right. Extra small popsicle. Hi Brandon. Hi, how's it going? What's coming from me this year? I actually do feel like a lot of love is coming in for you, excuse me. And a lot more than you bargained for, just in general. I think you might feel a little overwhelmed with some of the options that show up and some of the new things that are presenting themselves to you. Because I feel like the world's opening up for you specifically is what I'm getting more. And where you once felt confined, I think there's going to be some constrictions loosened, and it's just like where you once had, like, this is metaphorical, like chains or like balls and chains, you're going to have like freedom of motion, and you might not know what to do at first, but that's kind of like the first thing I'm getting as far as things coming in for you. For some reason, I would go to the beach. That's not what this card means, but that's what they said when I pulled this card. Like, I would go to the beach. I would definitely like take time to relax if you can, and like get back to you is an important message as well. If you feel like pulled around by other people or problems or different life circumstances, I think like it's going to be important to recenter, and I don't know if reset gets the right connotation away, because it's not starting from zero. It's just like coming back to center, not as pulled around by the world. You're stronger than you know, by the way. Extra small popsicle. I love that username. And you do have the capability to fly, and of course that's metaphorical, or fly high. This is like this card coming up, and it literally says it's time to fly. Listen to your intuition. I feel like they're showing me this bull with the with like the golden cracks, and I'm sure you guys have seen the meme, or you've seen the meme, and like I think it's Japanese culture, where like anything like bulls are things that are broken, they're fixed with like gold, and it's like this whole concept of when you fix things, they're more beautiful. You're like, when things break, they become more beautiful, or something like that, because of their story. The message is like, anywhere you think you're broken, you're not. I feel like you've healed a lot more than you realize, and I think why are they pulling my attention to fiery energy? You definitely have a lot. This is a good thing. You have a lot of fire. Like element energy, like just fire, good fire energy with you, and I would try to harness that. Like if you just feel like a lot of drive or a lot of passion, or a lot of like fire to power the steam engine, more metaphorically, definitely use that to move forward in the years ahead. Actually, maybe not just this coming year. But where was I going? I think you've fixed a lot more than you realize, and one of the messages that comes through, that's come through for a lot of people, is meant for more. And now's a great time to start building the foundations for the things you want to see in your life, if you haven't already. I think you've started a lot of that, but that's just confirmation if you have. But you're definitely watched over, is what I'd want to say as well. And if you feel like you're lost, you're not. So I think you're growing. And weird message, but hopefully this makes sense. Is like one day extra, because it's showing me this like tiny little plant. And like one day extra small popsicle will be extra big popsicle, and that's not physically. That's like metaphorically, where you're just like either you feel larger than life, or you feel big and strong and capable of handling life. I hope that makes sense. And divine guidance is on the way, is something they're saying for you. So I hope that makes sense. Extra small popsicle. I hope that resonates, and I'm definitely hoping the best from the universe to you. Ooh, I'm gonna take a quick coffee break. So I know I went on like a few tangents, excuse me, and like general readings for everyone this life. I hope that works for you guys. I know you guys are asking a lot of questions. So I'm trying to do the best of both worlds right now. So let's see who's next. Southpaw 1005. Hey Brandon, Sissy here. Any messages for you? For me? For what she said was, hi Brandon, Sissy here. Any messages for me? Let's see. The first thing I do get is stay the course. I do feel like there's a bit of an evolution coming in for you and your life, where things are transgressing is not the right word, so I don't think that's what I meant to say. That's not, what's the word? I think things are going to be moving forward in like quite unexpectedly and rapidly, because they're showing me dragonfly, and a lot of the symbolism for dragonfly, as far as this message is concerned, is like evolution, because like you have a nymph that climbs out of a pond and it goes onto a twig, and this is after like 3 years, and then in like the matter of like hours it turns into a dragonfly. So in like after 3 years, like there's this sudden like evolution and transformation that happens with like a dragonfly. And then it's just like, it's not a completely different creature, because it's just the same creature, just evolved or transformed. So I think a lot of rapid movement, like they're showing me the Eight of Wands tarot card. I don't have a tarot deck with me, but they're showing me the Eight of Wands tarot card. They are showing me this busy bee. There's like a bee on the flower, so you might be a busy bee up ahead. And definitely trust yourself in the decisions you make. I do feel like you have an accurate sense about what's right for you. And the way that message came about, they're showing me this little spider on this card, and you may or may not be able to see him, but they're kind of like, you know, spiders have, like, then they showed me the spider on the web, and like the spider on a web has an accurate sense of what's going on around it, like if a fly flies into the web because of the vibrations. So a lot of that's about being energetically in tune with the web of life, my gosh. And you just know what's right for you. And another message, analogously, is like no bugs will land in your web that aren't right for you, is what I'm getting. So you're going to have the right opportunities coming in, the right people, the right places, and it's all just kind of flow. So it's almost like a lazy river at the, like, it's like a canoe in a lazy river is what I get. Like there's no real rapids, there's no real like huge rush. It's just kind of like you got your cooler with the beers and your canoe, and you're lounging down the river. That's going to be coming up, where it's just a lot more ease and flow and like less forcing things, because I think you've learned forcing things doesn't work based on what I'm hearing. Any mountains you want to climb, there's this mountain in the background, I would climb them, and that's like any endeavors you want to undertake, any projects you want to do, any businesses you want to build. Climb the mountain, it's worth it, and like what else are you going to do is kind of the message. So I would let things evolve, and I do feel like the message I'm getting is like it's time to move forward, essentially. There's going to be new growth and rapid movement, so that's what I get for you, Southpaw Sissy. I hope that makes sense. And another message, last bit here, is you do have the power to create whatever you want to see in your life. And this is like, one, you're infinite. They show the infinity sign over Archangel Azrael. It's time to let go, prepare for change. But this also reminds me of the Magician Tarot card, and like that's also just the message they gave me when I saw this card, is you have the power to create. And also like birth, like look at this, like your creation, birth. You have the power to create anything you want to create in your life. And oh, we got this card popping out again. So that's a good omen for sure. Just don't be afraid to create what you want to see is a big message. I hope that makes sense. And I'm gonna ask the universe to send you all the best for you. Should you want it? J Scholar Bass. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. I'm not enjoying my job. Any advice? I would definitely change jobs. Maybe not right away, because I think if you need the finances, I feel like financial stability is important. I would start building your skill set if you want something completely different. Honestly, I think that's really good. I get that business would be good for you if you've wanted to start your own business. So like anything to do with marketing. I do feel like you have an ear for it, is like the message I'm getting. Where you have the skills you can build to do your own thing and not have to like be in a situation where you don't like your job, honestly. So I do feel like it's like a career change. So I would look for a different company in the meantime that still pays enough, that's still aligned with your current skills, but also like look into like building the skills and like the future you want to see for you. Because I don't feel like normal jobs are always going to cut it, is kind of the message I'm getting. And that's not to put anything on you, and like that's just what I'm getting. So, and again, like this card tends to be the fly high card, which honestly in this instance I get doing your own thing. So look into building your own thing if you can. I don't feel like that's right away. I think that's like, yeah, find something else in the meantime, but start like seeing like what can you build that's more like self-sustained, that's more like you're your own person doing your own thing, that's like something you're passionate about, or that resonates with what you want to bring into the world. And you are going to be protected in any changes you make. Guardian angel popping out here. So and definitely I would try to release any fears about change. Like that's like what a lot of what these bats represent to me when I pull this card out. I do feel like you're meant for more than where you're at. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps you out. That was for J Scholar Bass, and I apologize if I'm butchering that name, but I hope that makes sense. Okay. Casey Joe, my lease is up the end of August. Should I stay or move into a new home? I get stay for another period. You might not want to, so I apologize if that's disappointing to hear. I think there's more for you there than you realize. I would definitely move after the next time your lease is up, though. That's what I get, but definitely go with your gut and your circumstances. J Scholar Bass. Sorry. Thank you. Makes a lot of sense. Awesome. I'm grateful to hear it, and I hope that helped you in your situation. I do feel like you'll be okay. Not to worry about any changes you make, because I think you'll make the smart ones, and you know how to take care of yourself. Okay. Guys, please do your best not to spam the Q&A. It does make it difficult for me to find everyone else's questions, so just one or two questions for starters, and if I don't get to you for a while, feel free to reincorporate a question. But I know I won't be able to get to everyone. Fatima V asks, will my life get better? I do get yes. I do think patience is a virtue is one of the messages. This is an interesting message, and I'll try to go more in depth. The more you can go within and pull good things out of you, the better. And what does that mean? It's like going within and finding your joy, and like finding your happy dance. Like, they're showing me that movie Happy Feet with the penguin. I've never watched the movie, but like they're talking about like a happy dance and just like finding the things that bring you joy and like pulling those back out, like even if it's things from childhood, and reincorporating that in your life and doing something daily that's like a joy practice that starts to bring more of that energy to you and helps you to start generate more joy in your life. I feel like as you do that, it's going to open the doorway to change in other areas. But like, because right now the things you need are inside of you, and no one's pointed you in that direction, is what I get. I think everyone's kind of pointing to some external change or this or that, or like acting different. And I think like the answer is pretty simple. And it's just like the joy is there. You just kind of have to pull it out of you and realize it's okay to be joyful no matter what, is one of the messages I'm getting. And realizing like you can find peace in your current circumstances. And I feel like as you pull these like good things out of you, and that's not to like get rid of them, it's just like you're bringing the things that were buried, like unearthing them and bringing more of the true you back to the surface. And like, yes, it's still there in your core. It's more just like unveiling more of who you are. Excuse me. The more you're going to see things shifting in your external reality that make things better as well. And you will have to take action. That's not to mitigate that part of it, because there are things you need to change in your external reality as well. But for starters, going within and being like, okay, what are the changes I need to see to have my life get better? And like, even if you just like make one tiny change and you're like, you know what, this is going to sound really dumb, but this is an example. Like, I always get Dunkin' Donuts, but I love Starbucks. And like, why? Like, I'm gonna like, sure, it's like $2 more. I can afford the $2. I'm just gonna go to Starbucks instead of Dunkin' Donuts. And like, just one tiny thing that starts the domino effect of the change for the better. Just but honestly, I do feel like a lot of the answers are within. And you know, I don't say that to everyone, so I know that that's such a cliche thing to say. And much like the last person I just talked to, you are divinely protected through any changes. Just, I would take baby steps and not take huge leaps right now. Like, you can shoot for the moon, but I think the visual they're showing me is like there's little platforms on the way to the moon for like a big life change or anything you want to make. And it's like they're almost showing me like, do you remember, like, maybe this will make sense for some of you guys, do you remember like Super Mario like 64, like some of the Super Mario games like for a Nintendo, and some of the more recent ones where like you jump into like a cannon or something and it would launch you to the next platform. So it's like, I think there's like baby steps along the way to the moon, to the life changes you want to see. And I think like a balanced approach instead of like a huge life turmoil blow up will be a lot better for you. I hope that makes sense. Hope that makes sense, Fatima V. Sign a Moon Girl asked, any messages from spirits? Thank you so much. Yeah, this card popped out, and the first message I get is you're blossoming. And what does this card say? Relax and open up to source. Keep your heart open. And honestly, I feel like this is about keeping an open mind as well. Sign a Moon Girl, I think like there's more to you than you realize. And it's like, I guess an analogy based on this card is like, maybe you thought you had 2 wings, but you actually have 6, or something like that. Like there's like multiples more to you than like is currently unveiled to you right now. And I think like a lot of the upcoming chapters in life are like unfolding those things and like realizing how much more to you there really is. And I think that's going to show up at like dynamics with other people, like if you have a job, like at work, that's going to show up in like more to your internal world than you realize, like dreams at night. Like things are just going to be like expanding and like unveiling more of the true you to you, because I do feel like you're far more magical than you realize. So this is a weird message that they just showed me, but it's like this flower and this seraphim, this angel, it almost looks like a microphone, and it looks like she's on stage with the spotlight like singing, and it's almost like she's talking into the flower. So the main message I get with that is like, use your voice, and use your voice for good. I would definitely like speak up if there's any injustice around you that you feel called to speak up about, but you do have a powerful voice. I think like you can change things for people just by speaking up, and I would, honestly. I think if you feel blocked, you won't feel blocked forever, because my throat's actually feeling a little like stuffy as I'm like saying these things. So I guess like part of the message is learning to use your voice if you haven't in a while, and owning your divine power and realizing like same message, realizing you make a difference just by speaking up. I do, like, they're showing me this amethyst card with this amethyst. They're talking about crown activations. So I do feel like you're getting some crown chakra activations, and just realizing your divine worth is another message that's coming through, and a lot of abundance on the rise for you as well, which is a good thing. And again, this is about truth, standing in your power. This go around for this card is what they're saying. Archangel Michael, stand in your power, be true to yourself. Standing in your power, using your voice, not backing down when you know something's right. I feel like that's going to be something that's important for you. And if you're on a wandering journey, you won't be wandering for long. I feel like you're going to have more of a set path, or more of like a direction. You're already on a direction you want to go, but it's just going to become more like defined if it has lacked any definition. I hope that makes sense. Sign of Moon Girl. Oh, is there more? The sun will shine in your life. And then this card popped out too, with the sun shining. And this card is like, welcome new beginnings, let the sun shine in your life. What? So, because they showed me these sun rays and they said the sun will shine in your life, and then this card popped out. So that's just confirmation. I would pay attention to the color purple. I feel like that's important for you. So hope that helps you have a good life. And hopefully I see you around again too, but yes, I see incredibly on point, says Sign of Moon Girl. Awesome. I love it. I'm so grateful to hear it. Just let life carry you to the next destination. By the way, I'm seeing the moderators chat with people, and I think I know the conversation based on what I'm seeing. But yes, everyone, be divine 20, Deja, baby Devu. I wish I had a better way to say that. So I just, but the moderators here, they volunteer, and I am incredibly grateful for them, because they do it because they want to. It's definitely helped me a lot as like this has grown and expanded. I know I'm in my car, and sometimes the lives don't hit like the 200 plus mark like they do when I'm inside, but I wanted to do it in the car today. But especially as like things go crazy in the chat, they've been such a godsend. And so a lot of gratitude to them, and any thanks that you can give them as well in the chat, very welcome. Because they do a great job, and they help a lot, and I'm definitely grateful for them. Okay, then I'm going to answer this one. Beth Campbell, hey, good to see you. I think I've seen you here before, or someone else named Beth Campbell has been around. Any advice? Am I on the right path? Is my dad near me? Yes. Does he see me making progress? Oh yeah. Are you on the right path? I do feel like that's a mostly. I think like things are changing, so you are on the right path. And I definitely feel like this is a weird message, because it's like, it's not like you're on a sinking ship at all. It's more like, it's like you turned half of the ship around in the right direction, and you're still like waiting for the other half of the ship to catch up. And it's the weirdest visual, because it's like, it's almost like half of the Titanic, not a Titanic, because the Titanic sinks, so not the Titanic, but it's like, it's kind of like a similar boat. It's like, I see like half of the ship turned around, and the other half is like, maybe it's attached to ropes, or like, do you remember that scene from like Spider-Man, Homecoming or whatever, and like Spider-Man tries to like get the ship back together through like spider webs, and like it's like the ship is like kind of together, but it's like still apart, and it's kind of like you turned half of the ship away and like to the right direction and to the destination where you want to go. And maybe there's a bit more turning to do, but that's not the point. And like the other half is like still like kind of like lagging behind in that turn, but it will get there. I think here's a tip, is like setting the intention to be on the right track is a good way to do this. I think like intentionality is underrated as a tool, and I've found it's turned my life around many a time when I've needed it to, or when I've been going through a rough patch. And I'll say this because they're saying say that in case someone needs to hear it. So at one point, and this is not me now, I feel like my life after like a few years is finally getting to a really good point where it's like, oh, and I don't feel like I'm totally there yet, but I'm doing so much better than I did like a year or two ago. My gosh. Like I don't even like, and I'll say it in case anyone's there, or I don't think anyone's there, but like there are definitely points where I've and my guide stopped me and I was fine. It was just a lot of processing. Like I wanted to crash my car into a tree. If I'm being honest, I don't want to do that anymore. I actually want to be here, and the universe definitely sent me a lot of lifesavers to like keep me afloat. But like there's definitely that dark night of the soul that I went through to get to this point, if that makes sense. And I'm not saying you're all going to have to, and the Archangel Faith is popping out. I'm not saying you're all going to have to go through that to get to a good point in your life. That's not what I'm saying. I forgot what I was saying. I'm so sorry, guys. I guess like don't give up is like the main message, but the intentionality of it. Like if something, okay, I remember what I was saying. But there was one point where things were like when things were starting to get really rough, and I was just like, I don't know what to do, and I just sat down with a piece of paper and I was like, I demand that my life gets better, like right now, and like because like it is unbearable right now. And like I just used all my tools, like angels remove anything not allowing that to show up for me, angels help me out, like God help me out, like there are definitely a lot of like to be very transparent with you guys, just like scrambled like prayers, like God, I don't know what to do, help me, like universe, I'm at a loss, I've tried so many things, help me, just like get me there, I don't know what to do anymore. And like, but through those like prayers, through those intentions, like that one time I was talking about was like, I demand my life gets better, like at least bearable, like it did, like it was kind of like the thing just up leveled just enough where it was like, okay, I can stand this, I can like survive this at least. So like even just setting that intention, like if you're in the thick of it, even if it's just like a scrambled prayer on like a notebook and you just like lay in bed for the rest of the day because you can't cope, if you're there, and not a lot of you are, I'm saying, but and I'm not there anymore, by the way. I'm good. That can make all the difference long term where things do turn around for you, because that's what helped for me. So like if you want to get on the right, all that to say, if you want to get on the right path, guys, just setting the intention. And if you're worried about getting as bad as me, guys, guardian angels showing up where you don't have to go through that necessarily. But if you want to get on the right path, just setting the intention, like universe, get me on the right track for me, with ease and grace in a way that's gentle and loving. Please show me what's right for me, get me on the right track fully. I'm setting that intention, please like get me there. And that will do a heck of a lot more than I think some of you guys realize. And by the way, this is a Violet Flame card. For Beth Campbell, you're transmuting a lot of what doesn't serve you, and you're having a lot of realizations to like bring you into better. It's like you're on the right track. I do feel like things like externally are still swinging around to like get you fully there, if that makes sense. And you're gonna make it. Your dad is near. I do feel like he's helping you with the process. And if you ever feel like you're like pushing a boulder or like shoving a boulder down a path to get it to a certain place, or if you feel like you're fighting an uphill battle, or like the visual I get is like rolling a boulder up a hill, which happens sometimes for a struggle, like he's right there helping you push. And like you might feel that if things are just like a little bit easier, you definitely do have that divine support and that support from the other side to help you, and it's all for the highest good, not to worry. So that's what I get for you, Beth Campbell. Sorry to go on a tangent about my stuff in the past, but hopefully that helps someone out there. Craft artist, I'm sorry for your loss there. I know that can be tough. Definitely sending my condolences to you. I'm just praying the universe in whatever higher form you ascribe to for the highest good, send something to help uplift your wings and at least keep you afloat in the meantime here. Savvy786. Whew. Am I making the right decision? Hold on. I need to kind of take a quick moment here. Savvy786, sorry for the pause. Am I making the right decision to be successful? Yeah, I think you're halfway there. I feel like there's more choices or decisions you need to make to get you there fully, but I do feel like you'll make them. Will you be successful? I think more than you think, honestly. Excuse me. I would also pay attention to other opportunities that are along the same vein, that get you closer to your goals, or that like sustain you in the meantime, is what I'm getting. I do feel like you'll have success, but one of the messages is patience and keep building. So I hope that makes sense, Savvy786. Another side message: you're not going to be alone this lifetime. I don't feel. Oof, excuse me. You'll have people around you to support you if you don't feel like you have that fully now. Okay. All right, sorry, taking a second here. P. Borogal38, is my son happy and forgives me? I do get yes to happy, forgives you. Overall, yes. I think, like, the answer I get is, like, he's better than you think. I don't feel like I get he's not mad. Let's see. I do kind of get all is well there. I don't feel like you did anything like wrong. And I know sometimes our stories can tell us a little bit differently, but I do feel like you did the best you could. And definitely all is going to be okay. They're playing that every little thing is going to be all right song. So not to worry there. Overall, yes. I would release your fears about that. Everything's going to be okay. I hope that makes sense. I hope that answers that question for you more fully. Say, CEO, good to see you. Do I reach out to him? I am getting yes, might as well. I don't know if it will go as planned, but it's worth the attempt, is what I'm getting. And like a weird side message, I hope this makes sense to the circumstances, but at least you'll get an answer, is what I'm hearing. But I would. Lynn's 1-2-10. Will I ever find my soulmate? I do get like, because my definition is for soulmate is a bit different than others, but to answer the question, I'm pretty sure you're asking, you will find the one that's coming. Definitely be patient in the meantime. I don't feel like it's as far around the corner as you think, honestly. But definitely just keep working and improving yourself and getting yourself to a good place the best you can. I think the universe will see that effort and reward you for it, is what I'm getting. But it's coming, Archangel Hope. It's coming. So not to worry. Just keep working on you. 8 of Pentacles. They're showing me 8 of Pentacles. Tarot card, which is like working on something. But as far as like working on yourself is important right now. But they'll come in. Esme, how are you doing? Esme Salazar 77. What do I see for you? The first words that come to me are hope on the horizon. I think they're pointing my eyes to the waterfall and they're like, pay attention to the waterfall. So what is that about? I think, weird message. Hopefully this helps you. But like, they're kind of like, they pointed my eyes to this waterfall and they're talking about how like back in the day, I think this was in Japan, like around the days of like Mikao Usui, who was the founder of Reiki, by the way, they used to go up to these mountains and like sit under waterfalls and meditate with like waterfalls running over them. So I feel like if you're someone who meditates, like some type of visualization or meditation where you're sitting under a waterfall, not literally, I don't know if I would go and like literally sit under a waterfall unless you want to. That sounds kind of fun actually. But like you're visualizing a waterfall kind of crashing over you. I feel like you'll get information that way is a weird message. So hopefully that makes sense to you. I do feel like your crown chakra is opening up and like awakening. A weird side message. They're pointing my eyes to this necklace with like the Star of David or the Merkaba on it, on this angel. And one of the messages was like, pay attention to like the Merkaba, like whether it's like crystals shaped like a Merkaba or just information online about it. For some reason, I think that could be important to you in your path and like the spiritual path if you want to. And there is a website. They don't really want me to say it, but if you like YouTube like Merkaba activations, there are some good ones out there. There's one by like Brian Besco that's pretty good, as far as like just like awakening your Merkaba and stuff. There is like crystalmerkaba.com, I think. I don't feel like all of it was my jam per se, but I feel like it could be helpful for some of you if you're interested in Merkaba and like learning some of that information. As far as like the messages I bring through, it's more about what's right for each of you than necessarily what's my jam, for the most part. But let's see, anything else for Esme? I would stay the course, Esme. You are on the right track. I don't really see a lot of big obstacles in your way, honestly. I think like if there are any, it's self-imposed, but not for long. I don't think you're someone who like keeps getting in their own way all that often. I feel like you're pretty like clear of that kind of mess. Anything else? It is definitely foundation time. What does that mean? And like I know this came through for someone else, but building the foundations for what you want to see in your life is like, I think the next 6 months are great for that, and kind of envisioning like what you want your future to be like. And that's down the road. It doesn't have to be like next year, but like maybe like 5 years, and like engineering it more energetically, where it's like, yeah, there might be some specific things you want to see, but it's like, what kind of a space do you want to be in? Like, do you want to be happy, or do you want to be free, or do you want more expansion? Do you want more of your gifts honed in? Because you can do a lot in 5 years. And I would have faith you can go where you want to do. Go where you want to go, do what you want to do. Archangel Faith showing up here. You're definitely shielded from harm at this time, especially energetic. And I think like, I don't feel like world events will have as much of an impact on you, if that makes sense, where you're kind of taken care of in that regard, or shielded from like things that might affect others around you. That's kind of a message I'm getting. Another message is like, hold your light. And what does that mean? Like, I think that's like shining bright for others, and that's not necessarily like giving your light away, but it's like shining as a beacon of hope or light for others, and being like being a pillar of strength that either others can lean on, or I don't want to say others can take from, but like others can take hope in you is what I am getting. And like, that's something you're here to do, is like bring a bit of hope and light to others. Not just a bit, but bring hope and light to others, and be like strong when no one else can be. And that's not to put pressure on you. It's just like, you have the goods to do that. I hope that makes sense, Esme Salazar. I do feel like there's a lot of hope on the way. And one of the cards that popped out was like the sun, one of the Here Comes the Sun cards, or like Welcome the Sun into Your Life card, and it's not popping up now, but it did for a second there when I started the reading. So I hope that makes sense. And I would pay attention to expanding your magic, whether that's learning more energy work, whether that's buying more crystals, just anything that like what magic, not like magic tricks, but like actual like energetic, potent like magic, like manifestation, crystals, energy work, synchronicity. Like pay attention to like expanding that in your life. Whatever like feels right to you, even if that's like yoga. That's something I'm getting for you as well. Nessa Stargazer, am I in the right job? For now, yeah, I do get yes for now. It will change up, I think, like, probably in a year you'll probably want something new, but I think for now it works or fits. It's just like, it's not perfect, but it gets the job done. But I would definitely prepare for some changes there at your job too. buy more crystals. Heck yeah, if you ever, if you didn't need an excuse. All right. Well, guys, I hope you're having a good Sunday. I hope things are well for all of you. All right, Sam I am. Advice from guides, how to best heal past trauma. So I'm going to do a bit of like a general and a like for you, kind of like, so for you, and then I'll go into a bit more general stuff too, as far as what I'm getting. I actually feel like, Sam I am, energy work would be gold for you if you haven't already tried that, or trying more of that, because I feel like that has a way of getting to the points in like the body, and I don't feel like the soul is ever really harmed. And I know I have a bit of a different take on that than most people, so don't get too caught up in that. But it's just like it can really heal on a deeper level than like traditional like talk therapy. Not saying don't see a therapist, guys, because sometimes that's very, very helpful and can be healing and shifting in its own right. A lot of the times there is going to be like one thing that hits the crux, but there's going to be multiple things that open the pathway for that trauma to be healed. So it could be like you're seeing a therapist and you're seeing a Reiki master, and like maybe even you're learning Reiki to do like self-healing for yourself as well. Like you're getting into crystals, like, because a lot of that energetic stuff has a way of getting to the core of the issue in a way where like just talking it out might not always do. Not to say that's not helpful and doesn't shift things for a lot of people. I'm just saying, like, tackling it from multiple angles is probably going to be something I always recommend. It's something that's coming through now. Like getting Reiki sessions and like I think gentle forms of healing, especially like where you're moving your body, like yoga can be very good for like kind of just releasing some like energetic toxins or cellular memory that's keeping things stuck. Because the body kind of holds a lot of that, and like people think it's mental and emotional, and it's like it's all interconnected and interrelated, but a lot of it is body based and it's cellular is what I'm getting. So like the more you can do to heal the body on top of the mental, emotional, and kind of like it's kind of like that body, mind, spirit, where you're kind of approaching it from all the angles, and like yeah, you're hitting it from the scientific standpoint, because there's definitely something there for that, but also like you're doing what it takes to heal on a spiritual and emotional level. Like you're gonna kind of have a holistic approach that kind of nips it in the bud, as opposed to just doing one thing that kind of goes deeper over here and deeper over here and deeper over here, when like the well, if we're using an analogy, like the thing you need to get to is like over here. So you can just keep drilling all you want and you'll get to water if you want to drill down to get to water, but maybe the water you wanted to get to is like right here. So if you come at it from different angles, like one of these angles is going to hit the water as you're going deeper in your healing, if that makes sense. Just an analogy. Weird message, but they have these samurai swords here, and they're saying to be discerning in who you trust with your healing. Make sure you get a good vibe from like a practitioner or even a therapist, and make sure there's someone who knows their salt before you kind of dive in, because weird message, but some people haven't gone through enough of the lessons to be able to help you on the deeper levels you need. So people who have done the work themselves, people who have gone through a lot or have a track record of helping a lot of people, definitely worth checking in with. My gosh, like for example, there's, I don't know if this will help, but there's like a shamanic healer in my area he's been doing this for years. He's from Central America. He trained with like actual North American tribes, and you can tell when you're in a room with him, like he's kind of no BS, and like he's not gonna let things slide, and he knows how to. He's helped a lot of people, and like he knows his salt. Like you can just tell, and but like that's different than like, and this is not a call down to anyone who's taken shamanic practitioner like courses or classes, but like if you're just like the dude who calls himself a shaman on the corner of the street, and like you kind of get like trench coat, like selling you like something not to be sold on the streets kind of vibe, like stay away from that kind of energy, because like there's people who, I feel like there's nothing wrong with people going that route and learning that stuff, because it can help them go deeper in their own mental, emotional stuff and healing. But if they're doing it just for a title or to call themselves a shaman, I would stay away. Does that make sense? But there are actual real like healers out there who have done the work and who can really help you get to the root of that trauma, and who have helped a lot of people. My gosh, sorry. I feel like I'm going on tangents. I do want to say you're protected from the wrong people, Sam. I am, honestly. But I feel like I went on like a ton of tangents, so I want to get back to the core of the question here on how to best heal past trauma. So energy work, so hitting it from all angles, like yoga, even massage therapy can be something that's helpful and helps the body release some of those energies. But what would be best for you? I feel like you're already doing a lot of the work. It's just going to take a bit of time to like really get to it. And you know what? Always the underutilized tool, but something that's helped me, setting the intention, making that wish, putting it out there, and realizing it doesn't all have to happen overnight. It's going to happen in spurts, and potentially in layers, but you can get to a place where you're more healed and less like in the healing, if that makes sense. But setting intentions that the universe brings you the right practitioners, people, modalities, things that will help you shift and heal out of any sort of trauma will kind of yield those results. Because I think sometimes people get so caught up in it, they don't even know who to ask. So, but just honestly, like manifesting the healing you need and allowing the universe to like, trusting the universe knows the best ways to line that up. If it's a miracle healing, great, miracle healing. If it's like this sequence of different practitioners and events and different angles things are hit on, and listening to this one channeler over here, and then seeing some sort of more science-based like analytical therapist the next day, like perfect. Like the universe will line up the events and synchronicities and people that will help you get more healed. I think just setting that intention, like I'm ready for that healing, bring it to me, and being open to how that shows up, even if it's unconventional, can help. I guess like another answer is there's no wrong way as long as it works. And like the bottom line is like, is it working? Are you seeing progress? And like, have you been in like seeing this person for a year and nothing shifted, or have you made a lot of headway? But definitely take responsibility for your own healing. That's a huge part of this, because like I don't feel like anyone can do it for you, but they can definitely hold the space and do a lot to help you transform and shift if you're open to it. Oh my gosh. So I hope that helped at all. I feel like I went in like a million different directions, but if this is something you're working on, you will get there, is a message I'm getting. The right people are going to show up, and if you feel like you're traumatized, you're not going to be stuck there forever. But working it out of your body is one of the main messages I'm getting for trauma and healing trauma. Beautifully Unbroken 1111. If we are someone meant to do something important on Earth, are there those that seek to prevent that? I honestly get no. I know there's stories that other people will put out there, but I think sometimes a lot of people create their own drama around those things, if that makes sense. Those here on a mission, guardian angels popping out over and over and over again. I swear I swear I'm shuffling these. I'm just like shuffling these around. But a lot of those who come in with a mission are protected, and they might be grown and strengthened through some of those events, but there's no one preventing them from having the impact they have, because a lot of the impact, let me see what they're saying. There's an energetic impact these people have inherently that can't be stopped first and foremost, because no one knows how to stop it, and no one can. And I think sometimes people put a lot of stories out there about like, oh, there's this thing that prevents the people from spiritually awakening, and like, it's not really a thing. I think there's just like people who haven't awakened yet that like aren't there yet to realize like the magic that's right under their noses, if that makes sense. And so it can appear like there's like a pushback, but honestly, like so many people are awakening and coming online and becoming more intuitive, and the vast majority of people on Earth want they want better systems in place. They want more compassion. They want more healing. They want more like kindness. And they're like, it is moving that direction. It's just like, it might not be overnight. It might take a few years, and like this structure falls away, and then this better thing comes in. Because if it all happened overnight, the world might be in turmoil, and like it might just collapse everything, you know? So it's like, the systems are in place for things to shift. They just haven't like completed the shift yet. And I think, like I know like the 2020 with Miss Rona really like brought a lot of awakening to a lot of people, and so many people were forced to go within and awaken. And no one can stop that, because the universe is everything, source is everything, and I think people forget that. Like there's no like quote unquote dark force that's preventing awakening from happen. If anything, it's just like, if those things even exist, because I feel like people create a lot of that for themselves, like spiritual warfare. I think honestly people create it for themselves and create this whole story and like just manifest things for themselves that are like spiritual warfare-esque, when it doesn't have to exist. And like the less focus they put on those things, the less it would be there, honestly, in certain ways. That's what I get. Like spiritual warfare is not real, but the universe is all of it, God is all of it, source of all of it. It's all kind of taken care of. It's just like letting things shift and realizing there's no like darkness or anything like that that can stop it, because like the light is all of it, if that makes sense. And if the darkness has any role to play, it's actually to spur and enhance and awaken people further and to strengthen people, not to stop them. Does that make sense? Hope that makes sense. I don't feel like there's any, the message that's coming through right now, and like you definitely go on your own journey and come into your own understandings with this, but there's no real darkness. There's just like, there's perceived darkness. And yes, I've definitely encountered things, because I think people have different definitions of darkness, and that there's the whole thing out of whack too, because like, are you talking darkness where it's just like night and day, because there's nothing wrong with nighttime, it's just nighttime, or are you talking like more of like dark? I just don't feel like there's any real dark forces. I think there's like perceived or alleged dark forces, and there's people who invent that story and kind of create their own like energetic whirlwind for themselves, but it's not like really there, if that makes sense, and it doesn't have to be there. I think it's just like, what kind of reality do you want to create for yourself? Does that make any sense? And trust your gut on what I'm saying, because I feel like I'm going in like a million different directions this live for whatever reason. Let me go a little bit deeper. I feel like the light is all and you don't have to worry is the crux of the message. And like one of the analogies that I have heard that I liked, and it was Lee Harris, who's another channeler that I'll mention a lot here, because I'm guided to a lot of his stuff, and it's not where I get all my stuff, and it's not how I learned to channel. The universe taught me how to channel. But one thing he said that I liked, because I always got the message the light is all, and I was very like, a lot of other people out there will not say that. But one thing he said during like a guided meditation was, he was talking about kind of dark and light. One of the things that came through in this channeled like meditation was like darkness is the other side of light, where it's like, it's not like really dark or like bad or evil. It's just like, it's like if you think of a story, like the villain is there to spur the hero into action. Does that make sense? And like to bring more good, to bring more, to resolve the issues. And like, I think in a lot of issues, a lot of ways, the villain doesn't have to be there, and we don't have to create a story of dark versus light, because like the story is kind of a lie and it's kind of an illusion, and like the universe and source already is all of it, and there's nothing really to worry about. And like on the higher planes, when I talk to passed on loved ones, like everything's okay up here. Everyone's like, there's nothing to worry about up here. Everything's all well. Like it's gonna be okay. And like just the things I've seen when like my guides were like, hey, do you want us to show you home? And I'm like, are you gonna kill me? They're like, no, dude, we're just gonna show you home. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna die. They're like, no, stop, like it's gonna be fine. But like everything was like amazing, actually. Like they didn't show me visuals, but like it was pretty much just like the whole experience was like orgasmic. Like my whole being and essence was just like orgasming for like however many minutes they took me up, I guess. And they did that a couple of different times. So anyone who's worried about dying, I wouldn't, by the way, not to, my gosh, I'm going on so many tangents. All that to say, like, you don't need to worry. Alana Rising, I learned so much from your lives. Awesome. I'm grateful. I do feel like you're going to get your own guidance as well, too. So, but I'm grateful. I'm definitely grateful to hear that. All of it makes perfect sense. Awesome. I'm okay. Now that I'm reading these, I'm grateful this all resonates and makes sense. Sunny Moon Girl, just booked a reading. Awesome. I'm looking forward to talking to you, and channeling for you. Okay, let's go back to the chat. I know I went through a long thing about that, but I thought that was a very brilliant question, so appreciate you asking that. Box of Rain. Anything for you around career or love for Box of Rain? Okay. Oof, I'm gonna take a second. I'm gonna take some like water because I'm like, energy's really hitting me right now. All right, Box of Rain. Niece Honey, can I ask angels to bring a good man in my life? Absolutely. I would write it out. I'd write down what you want, write down a boundaries list, and ask the angels to remove anything that's in the way of that showing up for you. And honestly, like, another message is the more you work on you, the better it gets. Hey, Yuginger, good to see you. So Box of Rain, anything for you around career or love? I do feel like for career, going your own road is going to be successful. And that if you have a job, that doesn't mean like quit your job right now. I think it's just more like start to build some of the things you want to see. I don't feel like you're going to get fired per se, but the weird message is like you're not going to have a job forever. But you might have multiple jobs and like multiple things you're doing. I would definitely build multiple streams of income if that's something you feel called to. But no matter what you're doing right now, there's definitely like, I do feel like you're going to change it up because I think you're kind of sick of some of what you're getting where you're at. Just don't stay forever wherever you're at. Like, don't get stuck there. You won't, by the way, but that's kind of the message. Love, it's coming, because they're showing me this rose with this incense when I was like about to answer it, and they're saying it's coming. I would have faith the universe brings you the right person. I don't feel like you're someone who's going to be alone forever, honestly. And like, there's a lot of grace on the way, where if you've had a lot of troubles in the past with past partners or in love, like it's not gonna be that way going forward. It's gonna be less troublesome, I think. And in both areas, what time frame? I think like if you give yourself, give or take, a year or two, I'm gonna go 2 to be safe. You're definitely going to have the sun shining in both areas of your life. Archangel Aurora, welcome new beginnings. Let the sun shine in your life. You're definitely going to have new beginnings in both. I think like 2020 was a lot of upheaval for everyone. And I do feel like that was for you as well, to a degree. I think a lot of the changes that spurred are going to continue based on what I'm hearing. You're definitely going to have an all new reality like by 2023, where it's just like a lot of the things you wanted to bring in are there. Maybe not everything. I'm not saying like everything's going to be like there right away, but definitely keep manifesting and setting your intentions. But I think you're just going to be like, by 2024, you're going to be like, all right, what's next? Like, what do I do now? I would definitely change your career up, honestly, based on what I'm getting. And I don't always get that for everyone. Sometimes I'm like, no, stay. But, I do feel like you kind of need to change it up soon. I do feel like there's new things coming in that will grow into something prosperous. They're showing me this little plant growing. So hope that makes sense, Box of Rain. I feel like I hope that resonates with what I was saying. Niece Honey, you should do audiobooks. That's a great idea. I think I do have my book. Spirit Guides, Angels, and Speaking with Stars. I'm channeling my next book. I have others in like the queue, but I definitely need to record some of those. But I would love to do that. Ashley Johnston Paulu, starting my own small mom-run business. What do you see for me? I would expand it as quickly as you can, and don't stay stuck on one idea, because I think there's going to be like 2 or 3 that make it. If it's online, it's going to make it more of a. They're saying worldwide success, so I'm just going to trust what's coming through. Don't be afraid to bring your magic and personal touch into it. I do think manifest is a good thing. And hey, we got the Here Comes the Sun card again for you regarding that endeavor. It might be slowish growth for a time, not forever, but the more you can do to bring in like a few, kind of the similar answer to like what was coming through for the prior person, the more you can do to bring in like a few points of income. So I feel like it's 2 or 3 things that are really going to make bank for you. the better. Just don't get stuck on one idea, especially if it's not panning out right away. Like, feel free to adjust and like go with the flow, because the universe is going to show you what's not working like pretty early on, and I think you're just going to kind of know in your gut like, oh, this won't work, or okay, this is flowing. So definitely trust what you're getting with that, and like, I think it's okay to force things a little for you. But don't like force and force and force and force and force like a locked door that's not budging when there's another door right over to the left that's slightly cracked open already. That might just be like the secret passageway that takes you where you wanted to go all along. Does that make sense? Ashley Johnston, Paulo, but good luck. I do get you will find success, but hang in there. It's going to be potentially a slightly bumpy ride at times, but definitely worthwhile. Okay, next question. Ruda, it's good to see ya. How are you doing? The main message is stay the course. I would make a wish. This card's popping up. Archangel. What does the card even say? Seek soul satisfaction, fan a flame of inner happiness. Whenever I see this like dandelion card, there's like a dandelion like make a wish. This is like a make a wish card. I would try to incorporate more fun into your life if you can. I feel like I've already said this to you in the past, so I hopefully am not just rehashing old messages here. I do feel like your wishes will come true. It might not be right away, but it's inbound. I think you've already started to see a bit of that happening. But what else is coming? I would definitely keep doing art. I think like the more you do, the better. Because I do feel like it's a bit of like your like life vest or like life preserver or like saving grace right now. I do feel like your art will take you further than you realize, so like just keep at it, even if it's just for fun for a while. Like it's definitely worthwhile. And like you are good, by the way. Like that's something I noticed, like just looking at your Instagram. And by the way, Ruda did the reason I'm saying some of this, guys, Ruda did this like mandala, because I one thing she said is she started to just do like intuitive art while listening to certain like readers on either TikTok or on YouTube, or like people who channeled, and she did this really cool mandala, and not just for me. I saw she did it for a few other people too, which is really cool. But it's like this green like heart chakra mandala that, and I have like this shirt. I ordered it on her Redbubble, but her art's really cool, so worth checking out if you guys want to check that out. I would study what you want to do, Ruda. If there's more you want to incorporate that you haven't, or that you felt like it's off in the distance, or you want to start doing things but you're not sure how, sometimes the first step is just to Google it and see some of what you need. And just taking like a baby step in that direction to show the universe like you mean business. I don't feel like you always have to, but like sometimes I do feel like you just need to set the intention. Your art's going to get more intuitive. There's Archangel Metatron. Increase your light levels, open your stellar gateway chakra. You're just going to get more and more and more intuitive, maybe not just with your art. So definitely keep going with that. My gosh, I don't know what's up with you guys, but I'm gonna shuffle this deck another time here, because like the sun, here comes the sun card. You're gonna come into a happy time soon, and it might not be tomorrow, but it's like around the corner where things are just a little bit lighter and brighter, and I don't feel like you'll need to worry so much. And if you garden, I would definitely like spend time outside. I just see you sitting in a garden. Like I think the outdoors will bring you a lot of peace right now. So if you can get outdoors, or if you have access to some nature, I would definitely like do that. I do feel like there's a bit of a change coming for you, but it's not as much as you feared, and it's not as like tumultuous as suspected, if that makes sense. But weird message, you're going to be flying all on your own soon. So in ways you didn't quite anticipate. I hope that makes sense. That's I hope that resonates. But you're definitely taken care of, and I hope that helps, Ruda. I don't know if I brought anything new in for you, but keep being artsy. Keep being artsy for sure. And there's a lot of newness on the way for you as well, Ruda. Just a lot of new experiences and things. I'll try to go back to some of the older questions, Bella. they don't always show up for me in the Q&A, but I'll, um, if you asked like a while ago, feel free to re-ask, because there's definitely a lot of questions I did not see that are looking at this Q&A that I'm looking at it. This is from Forever Ago. Princess Marty, is this the final straw intended to break me? I don't feel like you're going to break, but you are going to be very strong. I do feel like you'll overcome this. I feel like it's like sometimes you have like a wooden, like the visual they're giving me is like there's like a wooden board on top of like for a shelf or something. I don't know, but it's like a wooden board on top of like, and like there's two like stands holding it up, and like there's a lot of weight on it, and like the board always bends a lot, but it never really quite breaks. And I think that's like, despite some of the splintering sounds metaphorically you may be hearing, you're gonna pop right back in a while. So definitely hang in there, and definitely ask for the divine support that you need for sure. You're definitely protected from breaking too hard. I hope that makes sense, Princess Marty. I am, what else are they trying to break through? Like, a lot of this is intended to help you grow stronger, is what I'm hearing, whatever you're talking about. It's not going to be as bad down the road. This is definitely some of the worst it gets for you, by the way. Just keep holding faith. Like, it's not going to be forever. I hope that makes sense, and like just hang in there for sure. Definitely from the universe, well wishes to you and some blessings to support you. Sorry, I'm trying to find a question they want me to answer here. By the way, Alana Rise, hi. Anything for you for your birthday weekend? Happy birthday weekend. You do have, like, what I'm hearing is like there's like a divine blessing coming in for you, but it's like after your birthday. So like, you do have a gift coming in from the universe, but just pay attention to like what that is and be open to it being like something a little different than anticipated. Because I think like one of the things the universe wants to do for you, what is it? Here's what I'm hearing. One of the things the universe wants to do for you is step you more into your power. And that's not necessarily through like challenge or tribulation. I think that's just more like, you're going to have ease and grace in stepping up your game wherever you want to, if that makes sense, or wherever you've been like thinking or dreaming of it. So I think you're just going to have like, you're going to have some type of blessing or opportunity coming in that helps you be more you. And the universe is going to help you stay balanced through a lot of what's coming up for you. So feel free to make a birthday wish as well, by the way. I hope that resonated and makes sense. But I want to do a little bit more. Let's see. I do feel like you have a lot of love coming in for you, just from the people around you, which makes sense because it's a birthday weekend, but I think it's like more than you anticipated. And here we have the cosmic gift card. So I guess that's confirmation. Another message they're saying for you is like, life doesn't have to turn out any one way. You do have a bit of control over your destiny, by the way. So definitely make sure you're setting intentions for how you really want things to be. I think you have a bit more leeway than you realize, if that makes sense. Like, sure, there are some things that are just gonna happen, or there's predestined things, or like fate. But in between all that, you do have some wiggle room for like creating more of what you want to see in the interim. So I would do that and just pay attention to what your heart is calling to you, and allow yourself to ask for it. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Hey, brightest star, so how you doing? You're welcome, Alana Rising. You're a good one, by the way. Hello, cat. Am I doing the right thing leaving accounting? I think yes, mostly. I think like it was good for a time. What are they saying? Whatever you're talking about for that job, it was good for a time. It's just like it's not going to serve you forever. Now's a good time to get out. I do feel like you had like a window, and I think like you kind of jumped as soon as the window opened, or like when you had the opportunity, but it's definitely the right move for now. I definitely feel like you learned a lot from it, and there's definitely better ahead that's more suited to like you and your soul and what you're meant to do here, if that makes sense. So I'd say no regrets, no wrong choices there, if that makes sense. And I know there's a bit of a gray area for that one, because sometimes it's a very cut and dry, like, yeah, you need to get out of there. For you, it was like, it was kind of coming up on time anyways, so not to worry there. Hope that helps. Oh, I just answered that one. I almost answered it again. Okay. Okay. Getting tipsy nails. How are you doing? Good to see you here. Anything from you and your guides? Weird side message before we delve into this, but if you have incense, I would light it. I think like that could be soothing for you. Dragon's Blood's a good one. That's one of my favorites. But let's see. Definitely go with the flow right now. They're kind of showing like the waves. I think like all will be well and all is taken care of is a message. So not to worry about anything that's surprising. I think you're going to have the resources to build what you want to see and like just be taken care of through this time period, honestly. And again, like, yeah, we have Guardian Angel popping out, so definitely you're guided and protected. I don't know if you realize it, but I feel like you're healing a lot of inner child stuff. They're showing me the kid on the card, and they're talking about inner child healing. And by the way, you do have what it takes to, they're showing me the star, you do have what it takes to shine bright. So if you've been wanting to put yourself out there in a new way, like, I would go for it, and it's okay to be hesitant at first, but just build your confidence up and like put yourself out there, because it's like, let's see. I feel like this must be collective, because this has been coming through for a few different people, but it's time to start building more of what you want to see, and like just releasing fears that you can't have what you want as well, and releasing fears in general if you feel like that's something you're working through. I feel like you have more oomph behind you than you realize, like more potency when you're setting intentions, or if you want to get into energy healing, like doing that kind of work. And it's something you can do this lifetime if you want to, so I'd pay attention to that. And if you felt like there's been compassion lacking around you, there's definitely that coming in for you. That's what I get with this card. Like, there's compassion coming in, like, around you, like, towards you. Where previously there wasn't as much as you wanted, is what I'm getting. So hang in there as well. You are definitely divinely guided. I would keep using your discernment, because it's like, I feel like a lot of times swords can be like a symbol for discernment, if that makes sense. Like, there's a lot it can discern or symbolize. My gosh. I do feel like you're divinely guided, you're divinely protected, and like the universe is just kind of helping you discern like what's for you, what was for past you, like what to let go of, what to hold on to, because you're definitely shifting internally, and like it's like the visual I get is very strange, because it's like there's you, and it's like or it's like an image of you, and then it's like ground, and it's like this block rises up and this block comes down. It's like these things shifting into place, and it's really just like, it's almost like a puzzle. Like, you know those puzzles where you're getting like a ball like through like a maze to like a slot or something. So it's like, it's kind of like the universe is like getting the right realizations on the right places and the right upgrades to the right parts of your body. Does this even make sense? Like, it's just like, if you feel like you're shifting and like rearranging, you internally you are, and it's just kind of like getting the right ideas and concepts in place for you to move forward more like concretely and to feel more you, honestly. I feel like you have an offer coming in of some sorts. What is that offer? It might be career-wise, but just pay attention to things people are offering you. Because like this, I feel like this is very much an offering card, and they said like there's an offer coming in for you. So that's what I get for you. Another side message, and this they're saying, this isn't like any card in particular that's spraying this, but they're saying something about taking flight, where it's just like, it's time to bring a lot of the concepts you've wanted to see like in, and like that's to the world. So if you want to see more peace, like start to like cultivate more peace in your life. Like if you want to see a business, like start piecing together what that's going to look like. I just think it's like, it's a lot of it's like time to take action, if that makes sense, or coming up soon, like this summer is going to be more action oriented, where it's like a lot of the things you've been dreaming about is time to like put into motion. Or even if it's just one thing, or if you haven't been dreaming about anything, think about energies you want to bring in and what you can do to bring those in. I hope that makes sense, getting tipsy nails. I hope that resonates. A weird message, like I feel like you'll have the whole world in your hands, where like a lot more freedom to create what you want to create. I hope that makes sense. That's coming in. Okay, there's a bit more. Definitely pay attention to your visuals and like the dream space. I think you're kind of getting messages that way, or will be. I hope that makes sense. But you're great. Hey, little moon, how's it going? How are you doing? Kelsey JK02, should I go back to school or have another baby? Weirdly, I get both, but I think there's a correct order to those two that will be better. Go back to school. I feel like maybe not right away for going back to school, unless that just doesn't make sense to you, but like have another baby. I weirdly feel like it's a good time to have another baby. I don't know if you want that. For some reason, that's what I'm getting. And just have faith that all will be well. Archangel Faith popping out here. But trust your gut on that. That's just what I'm hearing. Not just what. I should probably just not belittle what I'm saying either. So, anyways. All right, next question. Teacher, when will my son be free from abusive girlfriends? It might take him a second to realize it's abusive. Like, I think he already knows, but it'll definitely happen. Just the card. Use the Here Comes the Sun card. That will happen if he needs it. It will be a little bit longer, but he's not going to be in that forever. I think, like, he deserves better, and I think he's still realizing he deserves better, but I think the universe will bring him into clarity that, like, this isn't working. So, it's definitely not as bad as it could be. I'm not saying it's great, but I do feel like he's going to realize it's not for him pretty soon. Just, it's not right away, honestly. There's just a little bit more realization that I need to... He's gone back several times. Yeah. He just needs to know he can find something better. It just hasn't really fully sunk in for him that it's not right for him. That's kind of like what I keep getting. It will, but I would just give him a little bit more space and time. And I feel like trying to force him in any direction will cause him to dig in his heels. So I think like an intelligent conversation on it would be good, but just support him and be not support him and be there for him. Support him doesn't mean like, yeah, great, be in that bad relationship. It's more just like it's more like I'm here for you if you need to talk or if you need me, if that makes sense. It's like, and it's okay to give him your 2 cents. Just like, don't try to force him is what I get. I don't know. I do feel like that relationship will end. That's what I get. Anything? Who's next? Nana Lynn 01. How do we do intentions? I pulled out the Make-A-Wish card for the intentions question. Okay, so, based on my experience, there's no wrong way to set intentions. I would keep it ethical, guys. There's no wrong way. If you're, let me see. I'm going to walk through multiple scenarios, and I'm going to ask to be guided through this optimally for everyone here. as long as you're asking, you're setting the intention. So if you're just like, one way I like to do it is just ask, and it could be on a piece of paper, it could be aloud. It's like I could just be like, okay, what will it take for me to channel better than ever for the rest of this life? And when I ask it, that's like a way to set the intention, is to ask. So I just put that intention out there. I coughed because I felt that energetic shift. And when I like set intentions, I'll feel that shift because that's that energy coming in, that manifestation, that reality coming in. So you can also like light a candle and be like, all right, with this candle, I'm bringing in abundance and prosperity for me in the highest and best ways that it'll look like. Thanks, universe, for delivering. And you light that candle. There's another way. Or you could write a letter to the universe with like, hey, this is what I'm going for. This is what I want. This is what, if there's any blanks I'm missing, or if there's anything better, please bring that in. And you could like write that letter to the universe, fold it up, or not fold it up, and put it under a safe candle to light on top of that or near that, and that could be a way to set intentions. I do like writing as a way to set intentions. I've just found that brings a lot of things in, and then it's fun because you can set intentions, and then like you'll open a notebook a year later and be like, oh, that thing that I asked for like a while ago, like that's here now, and it's exactly what I asked for. I didn't even like put that 2 and 2 together on that. So I think it's a good that way. You don't have to write it down, but that's another way. So there's no wrong way to set the intention, as long as like the intention is to set the intention, if that makes sense. Because like I want to say the common denominator between like a prayer or writing things to manifest them or lighting a candle or just asking is intention, if that makes sense, and the intention to manifest. So that's one way. I do kind of like to, if I were to put it into like a 5-step process, I would be like, 1, ask or set the intention one way, shape, or form. And a way to set the intention is to ask, but of course there's no one or wrong way to set the intention, as long as it resonates and works for you. It could be a crystal grid, could be anything. 2, something that, and you don't always have to do this, but something that just helps kind of remove the obstacles of that showing up, because it doesn't always happen. If it's a big thing, maybe, but I've noticed there's a couple different people I've listened to and things I've found where like Lee Harris and this person, Dr. Dane here, he does this modality called access consciousness. I've heard this from different sources that are like a little bit different in their approach, where it's like once you ask for something or manifest it, you might have to work through the things either internally, like the beliefs, or just certain things like in self-healing that will allow you to get there and bring that reality to you, if that makes sense. So like the things that are in the way of that are going to come up for release or to be worked through, like, and you'll probably work through it faster than you would have otherwise if you just hadn't set an intention. It's always worth setting the intention. That's never to scare anyone away from setting intentions, by the way. But that's just a heads up in case that happens. And it doesn't always, by the way. Sometimes it just shows up with ease and grace, especially if you're like, I asked that this shows up with ease and grace. Like, it'll show up with ease and grace. So some sort of tool, like angels, please remove anything that would be for the highest good for you to remove that's in the way of this showing up for me. If you're going back to that access consciousness modality, they have a clearing statement. And like one of the methods they'll talk about is like just ask and you will receive. So you ask, and then this clearing statement, it'll make no sense to you guys, and you can look it up on YouTube. Dr. Dane here explains the access consciousness clearing statement. And I'll run through it anyways, just so you can watch me do it. But it'll be like, okay, what will it take for me to channel better than ever going forward, starting now? That's ask. And so everything not allowing that to show up for me, and I run the clearing statement. I uncreate and destroy, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shirts, boys and beyonds. If you're a Reiki master, you can just send Reiki to that intention to help boost it and clear anything out of the way of it, or do some type of energy work. Or like I said, angels of the highest light, please remove anything in the way that would be for the highest good for you to remove that's not allowing me to show up for me. Another method. And then like you follow like either your intuition, sometimes, especially if you're asking for like, okay, I just want a quiet moment. I kind of coached a coworker through this one time, where she's just like, I just want a quiet moment where it's just like peace and quiet, because she had kids. I was like, oh, well, what if you just like wrote it down and you're just going to intend it shows up? And then I was getting it would show up in the next couple of days. And so she wrote it down, and then like after a couple of days, I asked her, I'm like, oh, so did that like peaceful moment show up? She's like, yeah, it did actually. I was like, I wrote it down, and like the next day, or the kids were like on their electronics, and I was just doing the dishes, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just like a quiet, peaceful moment. I'm just good here. And so, like, I think things can show up without you having to go through a huge healing crisis. depending on what you ask for. But just as an example. But as long as, if it's something bigger, like you're going to have to follow most likely intuitive promptings or promptings from the universe or divine guidance and like action steps to get it to show up. Sometimes it'll just fall in your lap. I'm not going to limit you and say you have to take action, but a lot of the times, if it's something bigger, like if I want to grow on TikTok, I probably have to post on TikTok. I probably have to follow my guidance on like what and when to post, and if it's even like the right way for me to go at all. But as an example, then like following the breadcrumbs of your intuitive promptings or like the signs from the universe, paying attention to what shows up as well, because like sometimes people like in opportunities to get you there will just show up. Like maybe you wanted a new job and your friends like hits you up and like, hey, do you want to come work at this place with me? Like, and you're like, I never really considered working there. But if you take it, it's either that's the right place or it's a stepping stone to the right position for you going forward. But following those things that show up, the signs and synchronicities, the intuitive promptings. And another thing that would show up would be like one time, I just talked about this example in a personal reading. No, what example would you like? One time, okay, I was like, you know what? I kind of want a Nintendo. This was years ago. I'm like, I want a Nintendo Switch. I just want one. I'm feeling nostalgic, and so I just kind of like put that out there. And like, the next day or two, like I was at my job when I had that job, and like the store manager, like I walked around the corner and like I just heard him say to someone else, like, my Switch, where's my Nintendo Switch? And like I walked around the corner, I didn't hear anything else. So like that's one of those synchronicities where like you put the intention out there, like the universe is like, okay, I heard you, it's coming. And then like later that year for it was like a few months later for Christmas, my then girlfriend, I'm single now, but my then girlfriend was like, hey, do you want to just go half and half on a Nintendo Switch? I'm like, perfect, because like I didn't really want to drop $300 on a Nintendo Switch, so that was just the way it showed up. And then I had a Switch for Christmas. And then when we parted ways, I'm like, oh, who gets the Switch? And she was just like, oh, it's you. I did that more for you. I'm like, oh, that's weird, but okay. So you just got a Nintendo Switch. And then from there, it's like you just keep showing up and like heeding the signs and following those promptings until it shows up, and it will show up. So that's like the long version of how to do intentions and manifest things. I hope that makes sense, guys. I'm going to get back to the Q&A because I took forever on that, but I hope that makes sense and helps one of you guys out, or more than one of you guys out with that, or gives you more to go off of. And I do want to talk about it because it's been showing up for me as well. And it came up in an energy update that Lee Harris did a few months ago, because he does energy updates every week. And he's a channeler, if you guys don't know who that is. And it was like Manifestation 8.0. And I watched this show up a lot last year, like especially the second half in 2020, where it's like all you have to do is kind of, all that aside, that's one way to go about it. It's like all you have to do is like lightly desire something and think about it, and the opportunity to experience it will show up. So like, for instance, I was like, well, I think I was thinking about like new furniture, because I'd moved from that ex, and I was like, I really want new furniture. Like I don't want to have all this old energy and like old stuff from that whole 1.5 year long relationship with me. So, and like what ended up happening is like I did end up getting my apartment, and it took a little bit longer because of Miss Rona. But I got an apartment, and what happened was like my stepdad sold his house like on Thanksgiving, like about the exact same time I got my apartment, and all of a sudden he had all this furniture he had to get rid of. He's like, hey, do you want any of this? And so I had all new furniture, like a new bed, a dining table, a new couch, a new like dresser, like all you could ask for. I just had this new furniture and I could get rid of the old stuff. And I was like, wow, that kind of came out of nowhere and was very synchronistic. So the universe is always trying to bring you better than what you're asking for, without like it's giving you what I feel like the universe tries to give you, what you ask for and better, especially if you're putting that intention out there. And like that's just one of those things where like I never really like wrote down like new furniture. I was just like, oh, that'd be nice if I had new furniture, and like there was. So I just want to like put that out there as well for you guys. Oh my gosh, so not to talk about manifestation for 30 minutes, let's let's move on to Q&A. Let's go. I'm going to try and find some older Q&A questions here, because I know like some of you guys asked a lot, and I've been going on a lot of long tirades here, so good ones, but 5H1 raw. All right, can I get a reading, please? I'm having some trouble. I know you're definitely transmuting a lot of old stuff right now, and I think that's a lot of like the perceived trouble. The first thing they were saying when I read this question is like the trouble won't last, so not to worry. I feel like you'll have a few months where like some of it continues, but it is actually going to clear up pretty soon. Really not to worry is the message I'm getting. If you want to work with a guide or a deity, Ganesha would be a good one to call in to help you. He's the Hindu god of removing obstacles. I've worked with him a lot. It's been very fruitful in the past couple of years, I guess, since I started working with him. So I definitely highly recommend working with Ganesha. Like, you're not going to get... It's not going to get so bad you can't get back up, is the message. Like, I do feel like you're kind of being whisked away from, like, the deeper aspects of the trouble. And, like, I guess, like, if you were to show me, what I'm seeing is, like, the upper version of either, like, a storm or a whirlpool. And it's like you're, like, halfway in the trouble, but you're definitely, like, swimming your way out. And you won't get sucked in. I really feel like you're going to have the divine assistance to, like, kind of airlift you out of the issue and, get you into a less troublesome situation, if that makes sense. Manifest with the infinity symbol coming out. I would definitely ask for less trouble. I would ask for an easy way out of some of the more troublesome circumstances, if that resonates. You are going to be set free. And part of this is just letting go of what no longer serves you, as another thing I'm getting. So the trouble it's not going to last. Like, hang in there. The universe definitely is, like, watching over you, and it's just like, if you fall, the universe will catch you, is another message. So I wouldn't worry about making the wrong choice so much. Like, do your best to make the best choices, but you're not really going to mess up. It's just a lot of this is, like, the storm that's growing you stronger, per se, if that makes sense, and strengthening your roots. I do feel like you'll have what you need through this time, so definitely trust and work your magic the best you can. I hope that makes sense. If you're still around watching this at night, you will be okay, is what I'm hearing. Hang in there. Let's see. Let's go back to some more old questions, if I can find them. Alright, I answered a lot of these, so I'm going to take 2 seconds to clean up the Q&A a little bit until I see a question that I haven't answered. Emotion Ascension, guidance with a new healing modality I downloaded. Well, congrats. I'm familiar because I too have channeled through a healing modality that I'm working on getting out into the world. I definitely, like, the first message I get is start small and build. I'll get to you in just a second. Start small and build. Like, definitely, like, try it out with friends or family or anyone who's open to it, that you trust, that can give you proper feedback, because that helps when you have that reassurance of some of the people around you. It's something worth getting out there, is what I'm getting. And Ganesha might be another one to work with for that as well. But keep working with it, keep expanding on it. The more you can test it out and keep, like, working with it, the better, and just, like, getting the feedback and seeing it, and, like, the more confidence you'll build, and, like, the easier it is to start, like, talking about it with people you don't know, is pretty much what I'm saying. It is watched over. The message I get is, like, you won't mess it up, but just, like, as long as you're persistent and keep showing up and doing the work it takes to get it out into the world, I do see it prospering. Just make sure you're teaching it properly is another message. I do feel like it's going to bring a lot of light. So just keep working on it. I don't have a lot more to say on that. It might be worth copywriting too, if you want to copyright it, just in case. But I do feel like it's protected. Don't worry. So that's kind of what I get. So what was I was seeing a question I kind of wanted to answer here. Or did I just scroll past it? Water, thanks, Ruta. Thank you. Yep, I haven't had water a lot in the past. Excuse me. One for the little guy. I'm being told I need to become a shaman, but my parents disagree. What should I do? There's no reason not to explore it. Like, if there's a good shamanic teacher that you can work with, it's why not? It's not like, if it's not right, it's not like it has to become your whole life for like decades and decades and decades. Like, I would explore that aspect of you because it's worth exploring. I'd say it's worth trying, even if your parents disagree, because parents will disagree with a lot of things. Sometimes, depending on the parents. What would be the... I do feel like it's worth exploring. I do feel like you're going to end up expanding it into other things. I think, like, I don't think you're solely supposed to be a shaman per se, but I think it's like one of many ways you can bring healing to others. I feel like you're supposed to expand that wisdom and make it your own, and it's a part of your path, but it doesn't take over your whole journey. Does that make sense? One for the little guy. It's worth exploring, though. Don't listen to your parents too much. I'm not saying don't listen to your parents at all, because sometimes they do have good advice. I think it's just more like, if you know it's right for you, and I do get it's worth exploring, and it's not going to be the end-all be-all for you, but as long as it's a good healer, like a good shaman who actually knows their stuff, you're going to get a lot out of it. I do have friends who are taking a shamanic practitioner course here in Illinois with a dude named Rodrigo. I actually talked about him earlier in the live, and I've noticed a big shift in all of them, and like a really positive, good shift, like energetically, like they're more mature, they're more grown, they're more like solid in who they are. Like their gifts are expanded. A lot of the traumas they hold are more healed. But I know Rodrigo's the real deal. He knows his salt with what he's teaching, and he's not taking anyone's BS. So just, if you make sure you have a real deal kind of like person, it's gonna work out. Does that make sense? So just make sure you have the right practitioner. Rodrigo is his name. He's based in Batavia, Illinois. I have no idea if he offers anything online. Might be worth reaching out though. But he does have like shamanic apprenticeship courses. Really, if I was going to recommend anyone to teach shamanic stuff, I would recommend him, just because I've seen the results of people who work with him, and I have had a healing session with him, and it definitely laid me out. This was years ago, so I don't know what it would do now, but well, I could check in. It would lay me out again in a different way, is what I just heard. So I don't know. So Healing Arts Metaphysical Center in Batavia, Illinois, if you're interested in that, is what I would look into. Junger, is it safe for me to go strict fruitarian now? I'd say like go half fruitarian. It's going to be a bit much if you go full bore, but I would ease into it if you really want to go that direction. That's what I get, but definitely listen to your body, and I think mostly fruitarian would be helpful for you, but pay attention to your body. If it will work for a time, but I think mostly fruitarian would be helpful for you, but pay attention to your body. If it will work for a time, but if it's like, if you feel a certain lack of energy or you're not getting the nutrition you need, switch it up for sure. Definitely pay attention to you. And again, I'm not a doctor, guys, but I'll channel through what I'm getting. Okay. I'm gonna try and find some older Q&A, and then I'll try to balance the new and the old here. Majestic, yeah, who am I channeling? Is it one or more? I do get it, it's a collective, and it is all for the highest good, so not to worry. I do feel like they'll give you a name eventually, but I don't really feel like there's anything to worry about there. That's what I get. But as far as more who, I do feel like it's going to be along the same vein, but I would look into the Pleiadians and see if anything like that resonates for you. I do feel like it's something a little bit different than angels, which isn't bad. It doesn't mean it's bad. But I do feel like it's definitely, in a good way, ancient. I want to say it's more in a starseed direction, which is interesting. That's just what I'm getting. The specifics will unveil themselves more, but I would take a look at the Pleiadians and see if that resonates at all for you. It's definitely based in the higher realms, though. It's not something to worry about there. But it's definitely more your guides, if that makes sense. And sometimes people get caught up in it having to be the specific like being or thing, and sometimes it's just your connection to source. But for you, I really feel like it's your guides is what I get, and not to worry there. Thanks for the roses, Be Divine. I really appreciate it. Guys, anyone who sent me roses and gifts, thank you so much. I do see that at the end, and sometimes I don't always catch it while I'm answering questions, but I just wanted to... Oh, Little Men sent roses. Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you so much. Mandy8913, is my granny with me during these stressful times? Yes, I do feel like she's lightening the load, and like, I guess like the message I get is like she's keeping the straw from breaking the camel's back. It's like if you have a load, it's like she's helping to keep it just light enough you can carry it without like impeding on your growth, I guess, if that makes sense. I do feel like all is going to resolve swiftly. I think I do feel like there's a lot of worry and like concern about the future that I do feel like is a lot of it's unnecessary, but I kind of see like one fell swoop. This isn't what I get for everyone, because sometimes people have to work their way out of a situation. I do feel like there's like an event or someone that comes in that really helps you out and alleviates a lot of like the excess stress, but the tough times won't last. I think at most a year, honestly, is what I get. And it's not going to be as bad as it is right now. Like things are going to come in and like alleviate this and alleviate that, and like this piece of the puzzle gets worked in, and then like I do really get in a year's time you're going to be way better. So at least there's that. I do feel like self-healing is very important right now, and kind of like doing what you can to lighten your inner load, if that makes sense. You do have this is Archangel Hope, so good card, one for hope. One of these things is like one of the things that this card is about is looking for a cosmic gift, or a gift from the universe at large, and like it says, look for a cosmic gift, remember you deserve it. Hope is the main message, like pay attention to rainbows as signs for like alleviation of the storm, so to speak. You are going to be okay, and you're definitely transforming through this process and growing. And you're not going to be the same on the other side, but I think that's a good thing based on what I'm hearing. All this to say, you are going to have like a gift from the universe to help you out. It's not going to look how you expected, but it's going to make sense. And there are some unforeseen things coming to help you out as well, is what I want to get. Is Granny there? Yes. God's there. I think I do feel like you have a lot there helping you out spiritually, like your spiritual team. It's just like being patient in the thick of it and realizing you won't be stuck there forever, and continuing to churn through the mud, because it's like the image I get is like, you know, like four-wheelers or like ATVs, and like there's people who like they like to run through the mud, and then like they get like not stuck, but like you kind of have to like throttle it, and it's like you're going full throttle, and it's like you're not making a lot of progress because you're in this like huge thing of mud, but it's like you're slowly working your way out of the mud. So like I just keep pushing and keep your like hand on that throttle and like keep moving forward, because it's like if there's slow progress, it's not going to be slow forever, and eventually like you do get out of that mud pit and you won't stay stuck. Does that make sense? I hope that like resonates and makes sense for your situation, but that's what I'm getting. Hope that helps. Manny, thank you. I need this. You're welcome. I hope that helps. And I'm asking the universe to help you lighten your load in a way that would be for your highest good, should it be in the highest good. And just bring more ease and grace to your path. Love lemons and limes. I see you're asking. I think I saw you ask previously as well. So I'm just gonna answer this now. Do there happen to be any message for you? I do feel like you're on the right track in general. One of the messages that comes to you is like keep the faith or hold the faith. It's something you have, and it's something that's like I feel like it's grown stronger over time, and I feel like it'll keep you out of a lot of trouble if you kind of stay in faith instead of freaking out, if that makes sense. I don't feel like you're a freak out person in general. Love lemons and limes, but oh my gosh, what does this mean? Weird message. They're showing me this stuff, and I'm just gonna say what they're saying. But the message was like carry the flame of your hope, where it's like if you're someone who has hope in dark times, or someone who sees a bigger picture when others get really caught up on like maybe in front of you, you see, like as an analogy, you see a vast, beautiful world, and you're like, whoa, look at all this like opportunity and all the ways this could play out. And then someone's like next to you, or this group of people are next to you, and there's like this little like, I don't know, like ant fight on the ground. And there's like ants, this is the weirdest analogy, but like there's like a group of people huddled over, and there's like a weird puzzle or like an ant fight, and everyone's freaking out about this little thing on the ground, or like these fighting ants. And you're like, guys, look, there's like a whole like beautiful mountain range and a lake we could go like hang out on. And they're like, no, look at this little event, like, oh my god. And there's like all this drama around this little thing on the ground that's like not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Like keep like putting that perspective out there of like hope and like, hey, it gets better, or like, hey, I'm really seeing like a much more beautiful picture than other people about the world. Like keep that going, and keep that alight. And weird message, but like there's this book, it's called Zebu, the Angelic Language, the Angelic Symbol, or the Power of Angelic Symbology. Sorry, Zebu, the Power of Angelic Symbology. And I do channel I have symbols I channel, and if I'm modality, I'm getting out there. These aren't my symbols. It's like this lady named Debbie, and I can't pronounce her name, but it's like a whole book, and she has the oracle cards as well with these symbols. But it's all these channeled like angelic symbols, and one of them is for buoyancy. And the thing about the buoyancy symbol is like you activate it, and it's to help you keep afloat if there's like kind of lower vibes or like heavier energies, if that makes sense. And just to kind of help you keep your head and like being up above the energetic bad, I guess. It's not like bad, I just don't have a great word for it, but like heaviness or like negativity, just kind of keep you afloat. And like that's kind of one thing I'm getting that might be good for you to ask for is buoyancy, where it's like you can keep your hope alive, and you're kind of kept above a lot of the noise energetically, and you're not as like bogged down by others like opinions or like viewpoints when you have hope, if that makes sense. And like asking for that to keep you afloat through any dark times or anything that like any trials or tribulations, like you'll definitely be okay. But and trust your instincts as well. Wolves popping out here, and wolf spirit animal is what I'm hearing is like trusting your instincts, because they're accurate, by the way. A lot of the feelings you get about people and situations are accurate, and that's kind of what I'm getting. I hope that makes sense for you. Anyways, Star Jones, I'm going through a terrible divorce. Will I be okay? You'll definitely be okay. Definitely hang in there. I don't like this message, but one thing I'm hearing is like, don't end the fight too soon. Make sure you're getting what's right for you. And try not to let them pull any fast ones on you either. But will you be okay? Yes. I do get you'll be okay. Not to worry there. I would definitely ask the angels to help you out with that one. But you're definitely worthy of like a better love, is what I hear. And like a weird message is like, at least you're going through this now and not later. And so like, it might have been worse if it was later on, honestly, is one of the things. But this is going to afford you a lot of freedom once you're out of this. So hang in there. It's going to be okay. Jen Carp, am I on the right path to my highest self? Yeah. Keep doing any practices you have and let them evolve and expand, and definitely keep meditating, Jen Carp. That's what I got for you. But you're definitely not on the wrong path. Let's see what's next. I'm gonna try and find some older Q questions. If it's been like a while, guys, feel free to re-ask like once. If it's been like 30 minutes or so, I'm trying to get to some of the old answers. I do just go to the questions I'm guided to. I know that's not always everyone, but I'll do what I can here. Clerva, any advice on opening my channeling? Let's see what comes through here for you. First of all, the answer is yes, you can channel. So really, like, the first key is setting intentions. And I know I just had a huge talk about setting intentions. I do feel like this is something you're meant to delve into, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Excuse me, but I do have a book on the topic. I don't think you need it, honestly, but if anyone else is interested, Spirit Guides, Angels, and Speaking with Source, Channeled Guide to begin expanding your connection and ability to speak with and channel those of the highest light who are here for the highest good and hone your other gifts as well. That's available, so I can link in my link tree and my TikTok bio. For you, there is a course, another resource I like to provide, like Lee Harris, not how I learned to channel, but I've gone through the course anyways, and I liked it. It's Lee Harris, How to Channel and Why. It's like $32, and that's on his website, leeharrisenergy.com. Worth delving into. It's like two hours or so. It goes through his story with it and like just some good advice. But first thing that I came to, and that comes through when I talk about this, is like setting your intentions. I guess like I really don't feel like there's as much to fear up there, but as long as you're setting the intention, like, okay, I channel only what's of highest wisdom, highest, true highest light, highest unconditional love, and the highest and best for me to channel. That's a really good place to start, because like you're really like channeling from the highest point of view from source. Source is everything. So setting your intentions is the first step I like to set. I feel like automatic writing would be big for you. It's like you already have, and I feel like you've had conversations where the universe kind of worked through you and you're like, oh, where did that come from? So I do feel like it's something you're meant to do. I would just be patient ramping it up. But journaling or just showing up like once a week at least and being like, okay, one, like a tip Lee Harris will give, and this isn't what I do, but I have tried this and it works. It's like, okay, what does my soul want to tell me today? I channel what's highest wisdom, what's for my highest good. What does my soul want to channel? And it might give you like a sentence, you might get a word to start out, but just kind of like, for automatic writing, sometimes it happens through you where they're moving your hands. Sometimes it's like they'll just give you the words and like some visuals and you're just kind of writing based on that, or like both. I'm not going to limit you. And you just kind of like write down the words you're getting. And then after you write it down, just reread it and it'll be pretty fresh for the most part. I would actually set the intention to work with archangels for whatever reason. I feel like that would work for you. And Archangel Gabriel is good with working with to receive messages. So if you want to call an archangel and to help you with that, that's a good intention to set right there. But let it ramp up and let the universe kind of lead you into it. Know like setting your intentions is enough to get the ball rolling. And even just having a weekly practice where either you're channeling for yourself in a video to see what comes through, or you're journaling down like, what do I need to hear right now? I asked for my highest and best spirit guides and angels to channel it through me. Something like that, where you're just setting that intention and showing up on a regular basis to allow the universe to work through you. And don't give up. That's another thing. Like if you have a rough day, it's okay. Show up the next day. If you're not sure you can do it, it's okay. Like try it anyways, and then like just try it again later. If it's like you're just having a rough go of it, because I know like earlier on in my journey, like I'd have some tough times, but then I'd show up 4 hours later and it was fine, So another thing to pay attention to. Sorry, my hair is all crazy today, guys. Let's see. Showing up is the main thing. So setting intentions, showing up, keep showing up. I don't feel like you'll need this, but for anyone else in the crowd, one thing that also helped me like expand my gifts more quickly was like taking energy work courses. I don't know if this is like something you want to do if you're not into energy work, but like I definitely noticed boosts from like different like upgrades I'd get from like, or like different like attunements with like modalities like Reiki, and there's another one I took called Amakuaki, and then I had my own modality I channeled through, and I ended up having to attune myself to it because like who else will attune you to your own modality? I don't know if I really needed to be attuned to it, but I did notice a big difference once I did, and like those things can really boost your gifts and really open you up in the right ways and just kind of like purge some of the things in the way of you hitting your full potential. So pay attention to opportunities like that with like either healers or classes that you feel drawn to that have attunements and things like that, or like spiritual upgrades. I do feel like there's a lot of downloads coming in general in like this next 6 months and like beyond, like through 2023, where people are going to be upgrading like rapidly. Like intuition's just going to like come online like almost overnight. You're like, oh my god, where did me getting messages come from? So pay attention to that too. If you ever feel like down or like wiped for like a day, just like take some time to rest and integrate, because it's probably, especially if you're energetically sensitive, you'll feel the downloads coming in, by the way. So pay attention to that, but being patient with yourself and growing it. So I don't know if I brought through any specifics, but like 1, setting the intentions and the directions you want to go with it. 2, keep showing up and have a daily practice, or a practice where you keep showing up. 3, paying attention to any opportunities to like upgrade yourself energetically. 4, letting the universe show you the best ways for you. I really feel like when you put that intention out there to channel, the universe will bring you to the right teachers, the right events, the right experiences, especially if it's something that you're supposed to do that will help open it up. Like I remember when I first kind of had my more like how I started channeling on like 2017 kind of awakening, the universe surrounded me with like 3 to 4 people who could just channel, and I had that experience directly, like a lot in like the span of like a really short amount of time. And then like the universe would bring me to other channelers and like down the road that were also helped me realize I could do this, if that makes sense. So I had a lot of those like hints and precursors, and like people showing me what was not just what could be done, because I feel like I've taken it further than a lot of what I was shown, than at least some of those people. But the universe will align you with the right people to help you along that journey. So keep setting that intention that that's something you want to do. It is something for you, and the universe will bring the right people, videos, experiences that lead you into the proper understanding that allow you to channel optimally for you. Does that make sense? But I do feel like you're a very clear audience, or will have those gifts. So I hope that helps and makes sense, and keep at it. I do feel like automatic writing is a great start for you. Manu Rose, do you have names of them, the channelers? So some of them were just like people who could channel. Honestly, like there was they were like friends. Like it's like I worked in a grocery store back then, and it was like, oh, I had like 2 different coworkers who could just sit there and like they weren't channelers. Like I'll go full channel mode and like flip that switch. And a lot of this is a very channel mode kind of thing, but it's like my eyes are open and I'm not like fully like, directly channeling my guides. I'm like, I am and I'm not. I don't know how to explain it. I'll just let them do it. But like it was just like people who could, if that makes sense. Like one that is more out there and like doing channeled sessions is Valerie Wood. She's based in Illinois here. She's good. She channels Archangel Michael. I guess like this woman's more like automatic writing kind of channeling, but Natha J is her name. She has a few books out there. She has a blog called Walking in Both Worlds, and she's the woman who like showed up at my work out of nowhere and gave me her book and like really helped me shift out like into and do a lot of this stuff. Not that so that's like a couple, but like it was just like people that you just wouldn't know channeled, that just I just hung out with them and they just started channeling. So hope that makes sense. Oof. But it's more about finding the right people for you. Veronica, how to open third eye. Let's go through a few things. Intention. So I asked that my third eye opens in the highest and best ways for me, optimally. Angels, universe, and the highest and best ways keep my third eye open optimally. Like just setting the intention. I do feel like I know I might have a different approach to the chakras than some people out there will say, but I noticed one time, like in the car, I was driving and like I was feeling my chakras, and like much like you can move a muscle, you can kind of just balance and open your chakras like that. And I know that's going to be a little contrary to other people's frameworks, but that's what I noticed was like I was sitting there with my crown chakra. I was like, oh, I can just like open it. Oh, I can just like, okay, I can just adjust the flow. Okay, oh, interesting. So it's like you're not really limited in how to do that, but if you want to like increase your intuition as far as open your third eye, crystals like iolites, tanzanite, amethyst and selenite as well are really good for that third eye chakra. Honestly, I do feel like, again, healing modalities like Reiki, learning energy work, or some type of guided meditations or intuitively based exercises are going to help because you're showing up and you're practicing it. And a lot of the times, like if you get like a channeled meditation, like a Lee Harris meditation, that space is kind of held by someone who's very intuitive, and in that channeled space, like it really helps open the space and hold the space for you to have your intuition more accessible, if that makes sense. And a lot of those channeled workings have that channel transmission that goes with it, so that really opens you up more as well and brings some of those energies you need to help you shift for the highest good, because channeled work just does that, if that makes sense, and it kind of comes from that higher space that just brings the energies you need in that moment. So showing up, getting around people who are more intuitive and being around that energy helps. It also gives you a stance to practice, like having people that are kind of on a similar leg of the journey as you, because you can show up and like you can play off each other's strengths and you can like kind of grow together, and that's very helpful as well. The universe will often bring that in for people who are on the path or newer to the path. So setting the intention, crystals, practicing guided meditations with people who can hold that space for you. Learning Reiki or energy work, that is something that's huge because Reiki works a lot with the chakras. A lot of energy work modalities do. So you could just send Reiki to your third eye. And even if there's like, I feel like it'll help you, but there's like different like Reiki videos on YouTube or even on TikTok. Divinia Wild Healing has some good ones. She's one of the few people that I tried to watch an energy work video, because normally like someone starts doing energy work and my guides are like, scroll. I'm like, okay. So like, oh, get out of there. And it's just like sometimes people aren't the right match for me and what I need, because I've learned like 3 different energy work modalities. I've worked with others. I've worked with like a ton of different stuff. So some people aren't the right fit for me and what I need from an energy work video, if that makes sense. But I do feel like there's certain like Reiki videos, like Divine White Light has one that's like Reiki to help your intuition. I feel like that would help. Or Reiki, there's like a whole playlist they have where it's like it runs through the different chakras. So you have like this whole like chakra run through, and I found that's been very helpful. Like sometimes I have to set intentions like, okay, angels, bolster these energies, ensure they're high vibration that's good for me and where I'm at, and that they help me. And like setting that intention has helped well in a few other visualizations. But I do feel like for you that would help as well. But like anything you can think to like set those intentions, start moving that direction. Like the intentionality is huge, even if it's just like a book on intuition that you buy and put on your shelf, and you're just like, okay, setting the intention that like it could be a book called Boost Your Intuition. I don't know if that exists, but like Boost Your Intuition. I bought the book, I put it on the shelf, and like that intentionality starts bringing that boost of your intuition to you energetically. I found that helps a lot. I've been doing that a lot recently, just trying it out, like buying a book that I don't read, but it's about the title and the intention behind buying the book, and it's definitely worked wonders. So all that to say, like there's no wrong way. It's just like keep showing up, keep setting the intention, working with the things that do it, and like over time, like you definitely see progression and enhancement, and like especially as the universe sees you going that direction, it like just opens the pathway, like parting the waters. Like even if you don't know how to do it, you'll have that one experience or that person that shows you how, and then you're off to the races because you've like, oh, I got a message, I know what that's like now. Oh, I had an intuitive visual, and like what happens, like it perfectly described that situation, I know what that's like now. It's like you just need that one thing that gets you going. Does that make sense? So like just setting the intention and then just like showing up until it happens, and then keep going once it does. It's not an exciting answer, but it is kind of what happens. Hope that helps. All right, back to the Q&A. I need water. Box of Rain, I don't really feel like you're going to get fired. But definitely do what you can to not get fired if you're still here. By the way, and it's definitely okay to start putting your feelers out for others' jobs just in case. But I do feel like you'll be okay for a time. But that's what I'm getting. Okay, let's find some other questions. Desi Loriano, what should I focus on? Advice from Spirit? Oof, you're welcome, Box of Rain. You'll be okay. I don't feel like you'll lose your job right away, but I would definitely keep an ear out for other opportunities at the same time. I don't feel like you're supposed to stay at that job forever, by the way, is what I'm getting. Desi Loriano asks, what should I focus on? Advice from Spirit. Thanks. I think releasing fear, honestly, is the first thing that comes out with these cards. Another message is you do hold this. There's this key here on this angel's like cloak here or whatever, but you do hold the key to greatness. And I feel like you've always had it. I feel like you've always kind of had a feeling you're meant to do something a little bit bigger. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you can do it. I think like sometimes you just have to take the first step. But right now, releasing fear, realizing you have what it takes, and ensuring no one's holding you back in your life, like through their words or actions. Just make sure no one's like getting you off the path you're supposed to be on, because I feel like you already know like what's right for you for the most part. It's just like not letting people deter you from like what's meant for you, if that makes sense. So staying on the right path for you is something I would definitely focus on. And even if you're just like, Spirit, keep me on the right path, show me how to stay on the right path, something like that could work wonders as well. I don't feel like you have too much to worry about right now. Archangel Hope popping out in the message. You don't have too much to worry about. I do feel like this has been coming out a lot, but I'm just gonna go with it. Like they're showing me this path and like the curvature of the earth, and they're saying like you're gonna be coming around a bend, but it's all gonna be okay. I really feel like there's gonna be more expansiveness before you. And what does that mean? It's like before, if you felt like if you're walking down a path and there's like mountains on either side and you're kind of like stuck on this path, or you're just like not sure like what's ahead, like that's gonna change where like it kind of opens up a bit more and you have a bit more freedom and like freedom of movement coming in, and definitely a lot more grace on the rise as well for you. But as far as what you should focus on, internal work and healing would be great for you. Going down the road of your passions and then releasing fear. Any fears that everything's not going to be okay, I would try to release those, because like it will. There's not really much to worry about. It's kind of just like, how are you showing up right now? So make sure you're showing up in the best ways you can. I think life is taking care of a lot of it for you is what I get. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense if you're still around. You're welcome, Desi Loriano. You're welcome. The sun will shine, by the way. Huge Bedonkers, first of all, good to see you. How are you doing? What should you focus on? You do have it's from the universe, like a gift coming is what I'm getting, so that's cool. I do like, they are showing me like well, it makes sense because it's what do you focus on, but they've been showing me this card a lot, but like 8 of Pentacles. Definitely like, I think inner work is like part of it. I do feel like you've done a lot recently, correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's any projects you want to build, honestly, I would like start on that, or anything you want to see in your life, start like seeing what it would take to go in like the direction you want to go. It's a weird message where it's like, I do feel like there's a lot of grace, and I don't think you need to worry per se, but like one of those messages is like life won't wait. So it's like, if you want to see something in your life, start seeing like what can you do to bring that about. So I guess like taking action would be a focus, even if it's a small step. Definitely a great time for that, and I guess that makes sense. I know that seems kind of collective, like with the summer months. It's kind of like the sun's out, it's time to kind of move around, and just not getting caught up in old patterns as well is something I'm getting for you, huge Bedonkers. So that's something I'd watch out for. I don't feel like you're gonna have a lot to worry about up ahead. I think life is going to smooth out pretty quickly if it hasn't been smooth. I don't feel like you're going to be super bored this summer either. That's another message I'm getting. So just make sure you're going in a direction you want to go in. That's a big thing right now, I'm hearing. Hey, Chalaz, how's it going? Good to see you here. Okay. Empress 444. Any book recommendations you need to know about right now? Not really. I guess I don't have a lot of book recommendations I recommend. Honestly, I feel like anything on angels would be good. It's got to be the right book, and it's got to make sense. So I wouldn't go for anything biblical about angels, honestly, but like it's like something that's about like information on archangels and what they're about. Like it could even be like Crystal Angels 444 by Alana Fairchild. That could be good. Just something from more of a metaphysical stance. That's not going to be fear-based would be good. I always feel like I recommend, like, and it's not the right book for everyone, but I just feel like it has some good things in it, and like maybe it's not the perfect book, but there's a lot of good tools. Is Being You, Changing the World Is Now the Time by Dr. Dane Here. I'll recommend that to a few people, as I'm called. Anything else for you? I feel like anything on manifestation would be good if you feel called to it, like a good manifestation book. But even just like that intention of having a book on like the intention, I was just talking about this, the intentionality of having a book about manifestation could probably boost your manifestations, is something I'd say. But really anything metaphysical that draws to you as well, to top that all off. You know, there is a book by Lee Harris also called Energy Speaks. I would recommend that one. I like that one's helped a bit for me as well. But those are a few. I don't have a ton of I don't read a lot of books anymore just because I get annoyed if it doesn't line up with my highest guidance, and that can sometimes be a lot of different books. So I don't have a ton offhand to recommend right now, but I hope that helps and gets you started in a certain direction. But they're definitely talking about angels and books about angels, so pay attention to that. Vanessa Montoya, does he actually like me? I get yes, he does. I do feel like he's confused about some other things though. I'd say what I get is not to worry there for you, by the way, Vanessa. I hope that helps. By Lee Harris. Yeah, Lee Harris, Energy Speaks is the book. Any advice for star seeds? The one I get, what came to me when I read that question, Crafty Teacher 116, just to answer this really quickly, was going your own road and going with your intuitive understandings instead of getting caught up in too much external information out there. Because I feel like a lot of the times we're guided to external information we need, and some other times we kind of have to take a step back and come back to ourselves. And so as far as people who identify as starseeds in this group, going your own road and trusting yourself regardless of external information others are trying to shove at you. And that doesn't mean the universe is trying to show you this over and over again, ignore it. It's if someone's purporting an idea that really doesn't sit right with you, sit with that and see universe, what's true for me? What's actually real here? I think that'll yield a lot more results than continuing down the rabbit hole of others' ideas. I feel channeled information is going to tend to be okay. Just make sure it's someone you can trust and that's reputable is what I get. So that's what the main advice for starseeds. But you're doing great is also what I'm hearing. So what is a starseed, Sun and Moon Girl? So yeah, I think it depends on where you're at, and there's different people who have different take on this, but people who just identify as not really being from here on the earth realm, other people will attribute it to either past lives on other planets is kind of what they'll say. So it can be a bit out there for some people, but let's see, it's just people who realize they're not from Earth. I think that can show up in a number of different ways, because it's of course we're all from source, and that's where I kind of tend to lean based on what I've got is everyone's from source, because source is everything. So sure, there can be a bit of differentiation in the soul and what each is here to do here, but at the end of the day, to me, it's all source. And And some of the different ways these souls show up, it can be like different wings of source, if that makes sense, or different ways of understanding that you're not necessarily of the earth. You might be here, but you're not like only of the earth. So it's another way to access spirituality just through a different bent, if that makes sense. That's like what I would say. And I'm sure some of the starseeds are like screaming at me right now, like, what is he talking about? But that's just what I get. So I'm keeping that a little bit loose as far as that definition, because I think it'd be good for you to explore for yourself and see what's true for you. But like, do I really identify as human? No. But that's my own story on how that came about. It's like, yes, I'm incarnate as in this body as a human, but like, am I really fully human? No, I don't really feel that. And like, when I've talked to other people who channel or who intuitive, like, they'd be like, oh, you're a good human. I'm like, well, that doesn't really feel right. I'm calling you a human. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But it's difficult to explain until you kind of go through that yourself. So, and I'm not saying I'm an alien. That's not what I'm saying. But really, my soul is not from here, if that makes sense. That's kind of what I'm saying. And I know what I am. I know what my guides have told me I am, but I'm not going to go too far into that right now. Saturn-bound countdown. Does Spirit have any advice for my manifestation? Honestly, what I get is keep showing up. And it's okay to reiterate and re-ask, like keep asking. A quote that's coming to me right now, and this isn't for all of you, I think this is what I'm getting for this specific situation, is like, it's like there's a lady named Sark, and I'm not like super deep into her teachings, but she's interesting. One of her things is like ask again, ask differently. So like ask, and if it's not showing up right away, ask again. And if it's not showing up the way you want it, like ask differently. Like, okay, what's another way I can ask for this, if that makes sense. It will come, whatever you're manifesting. I think it'll be a little bit different than you expected, but it's going to be like the essence of what you wanted. And like overall, it's going to like be better and be a better fit for you in your life is what I'm getting. But keep showing up is the main thing. Like ask again, keep asking if you feel like you need to, even if it's monthly, like you're just reiterating like, yes, I want this. Anything else? There's going to be a few action steps you need to take. I feel like you already know this. But also just like don't put too much pressure on it and let it come is what I'd say as well. It will show up. So I hope that makes sense. Charlotte, thanks for the presents. I really appreciate it. Mama Kibbs, will I be offered a job with an eye doctor in the near future? I do get highly likely, honestly. So I would definitely pay attention and keep showing up there. Yeah. Well, I'm just reading. Yes, but keep hanging in there is really what I want to say. All right, so let's keep going for a bit more. Liza E32A asks, should I learn Reiki? Any message for me? I do get yes. I would let that expand into other modalities because there's more for you than just Reiki. And I think there's like no one thing, but like multiple things that really help you make the most of what you can do is what I get. Any messages? You, Archangel Michael popping out. You're divinely protected. Also another message, like they're showing me the sword. They're like, use your sword for good. So just make sure the things you're saying are lining up with your truths is one thing I'm getting. I think that'll have more of an impact than just like going with what everyone else is saying. Even if it's a little bit different than what's out there, because if you look at the world, some of what's different is what's needed, honestly. We can't really have everything staying the same. You will have abundance coming in for you, whatever that means for you. That's something that's meant for you. So, weird message, but like be sure to pick low-hanging fruit. And what does that mean? Because that's a bit analogous. It's like if you do have like easy pickings or easy opportunities, it's okay to take them. You don't have to keep holding out and keep holding out and keep holding out. Like, it's okay to take some of that low-hanging fruit while it presents itself to you. And I feel like you're supposed to, if that makes sense. Again, guardian angel, you're protected. But also ask for help from your angels. And I would actually ask for help with your manifestations as well, if that's something you're working on. And just like, angels, help me bring this about. Angels, hold the space for my manifestations to come in, show me what I need to do, etc. And just invite in that angelic support, because I feel like that'll help you down the road as well. I do feel like Reiki would bring a lot of purification in for you in a good way, as it does for anyone who it did for me. But that's the message with this. And you're going to be very pure is the message I'm getting. you're someone who's supposed to be pure is the message. And I would let the universe show you what that means, because sometimes we think it means something it doesn't. So I'm not saying like pure in like a Catholic sense or like any like religious sense. It's more just like you are actually like pure, like energetically, like soul wise, heart wise. And I feel like you're pretty there. I think it's just like coming into the understanding of what that is for you, and letting the universe lead you into it, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps, Liza. Wishing you well. Okay. So, guys, that word protected comes up as well as kings and bridge. King has been coming up for you as well. Be divine. So, what am I getting for... I mean, be divine, you definitely are protected. Kings definitely can refer to leadership. I feel like you are going to be a leader, by the way, be divine, in one way, shape, form, or another. That could be spiritual. That could be some other way. And when it comes to bridge, there's like a couple things that come to me for that, where it's like the rainbow bridge, like your connection to source. But also another message they were saying was like being a bridge for others, and like helping others cross the rivers that you had a tough time like crossing for yourself, something like that. But let the universe bring you into a deeper understanding of all those words, be divine, because I'm not hitting on all of it for you, is what I'm getting as well. And you're pretty like, you know, stuff and stuff. So pilots by Andrea. Will my airage make it? I do get for a time are the exact words I get, but I would let that unfold and not try to force it one way or the other. Definitely don't tank it. I think there's more for both of you in that than letting it continue, as long as there's no abuse. Don't let abuse happen. I get it's not abusive, but that's what I'm getting. I would keep showing up. I wouldn't really like just straight up give up on it or anything. I think there's a lot more for you if you stay with it, instead of just giving up on it, if that makes sense. It's like I feel like the message I get is like it will last a while. Just hang in there, and like it's not a failure if it doesn't make it, by the way, but I feel like there's a lot still yet to play out there, and I don't want to like... I mean, that's what I'm getting. Those are the words I'm getting to tell you. So I hope that makes sense. There's more. What's more? I don't know. Like the last vestige I'm getting is like keep showing up and be the best you can be, both for yourself and for your partner, and just like make sure they're matching your energy in that capacity as well. I hope that makes sense. Guys, so I really have to use the restroom, full disclosure, and Manu Rose has been good for me. This is a boring answer. My body pendulum is swinging to yes, but one thing they were saying is like be patient and let him show you, because like he'll show you pretty quickly. It's like overall yes, but make sure it's healthy. And I do feel like you'll learn a lot from that situation, Manu Rose, in a good way. Nothing to be afraid of, but I do feel like he's an okay guy. Anyways, I really, really, really have to use the restroom. So being nice good for me to keep the live going now. So I've been at this for like 9, 10, like 10, 11. Yeah, like 3 hours. So 10, 12. Yeah, so I'm gonna use the restroom. I think I'm gonna end the live for today just because I'm I'll answer one more, but I really have to pee, and I think I'm kind of hitting a good point where I'm not burning myself out and I'm still feeling pretty good. Gina Nazra, any messages about what my life purpose is? First message that comes to me is meant for more. I think there's more greatness within you than you realize is what I'm hearing. So let's see about more. The more you can bring love to others, the more you can build foundations for others to have respite in your presence and be non-judgmental, the better. I think the more you're holding space for others and bringing peace and clarity through your actions and words, the more you're going to be serving your purpose. Because help others is something a lot of people are here to do right now. It is coming through for you, but I know that's very general. But if I were to kind of pay attention to some of the energetic themes, some of the energetic themes for you this life as far as like things to work through and create are like peace, hope, and prosperity. And that's for you and others, what you're bringing in. So the more you're cultivating peace for you, the more you're bringing hope to the world through your actions, and the more you're building prosperity or frameworks for prosperity for yourself or others, the better. I mean, that can be energetic as well. It doesn't have to be like it's money, if that makes sense. So I feel like a lot of it is like through your thoughts and through your words, building something better. And like realizing you have an impact all your own and you're supposed to be your unique you is also part of it. And learning to uncover the greatness within you is something I'm getting as far like a soul lesson this lifetime. So I feel like I would realize you can have more of an impact than you thought. And weird messages, like even just helping one person helps a lot of people. That's as above, so below. And it's also like the butterfly effect. So I hope that helped. Guys, oh my gosh, I have to pee so bad. So I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. If I didn't get to your question, I do offer personal readings through the link in my bio. Otherwise, I'll be here next week, 9 a.m. Central, North American Central Time. Sorry, Deja, I didn't get to you. But I'll talk to you soon. I'm sending so much love. And I'm wishing, and may the week play out for you in the best of ways is what I want to hear. May the issues resolve steadily and in a way that's grace, and may the universe bless each of you in the highest and best ways for each of you. Should it be in the highest good and should you want it? But I have looked and listened for 3 hours. Thanks for your time. Oh, you're welcome, Laura. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you got some really good things from just some of what came through and from the live. But I'm wishing you all the best, and I'm hoping to see you guys next week. And everyone, take care, all right?